Initiating moisture.
There's a very popular trend in modern horror movies where you make them suck as much shit as possible and they're just entirely forgettable. Luckily, that's not the case with it. I really enjoyed the first one from start to finish. I thought it did a great job in its horror elements as well as its comedy. The comedy really stood out to me because when you go to a Stephen King movie adaptation, the only comedy you're usually getting is unintentional because they suck some fat fucking asshole. That wasn't the case with it, and it really stood out to me. I really enjoyed it. I think it was a very solid horror movie and just a really purely enjoyable movie start to finish. It Chapter 2 had its work cut out for it to really follow that up. And it did a great job, and a lot of it boils down to just incredible casting. Bill Hader as Richie absolutely fucking annihilates the role. He is a really, really talented actor, as well as James Ranson, the one who plays the adult Eddie. And he's basically as if the kid actor grew to a 40-year-old man in the 2 years it took in between this movie and the last one. It's like the same goddamn guy. It's as if you actually are watching the kid in an adult's body. They act the same, they basically sound the same, and they even fucking look the same. It's wild. I don't know if James Ranson's the young child actor's father or something, but it's fucking wild how similar they are. But there's no bad characters or anything like that. I just thought those two really shined, in my opinion, because once again, in an area I didn't expect it to be great in, comedy, it fucking nailed. I didn't think they could make it happen twice. I didn't think you could take Stephen King's work and make it intentionally humorous twice and have it land, but they fucking did it. And I respect that because it made me laugh a couple times. I thought it was just really well written there. As far as the horror elements go, I actually think they're weaker in this movie than the first one. It's kind of a double-edged sword because you have them going on this mission of finding themselves and what they want to be, what they're hiding, what they've forgotten. And you don't really put a whole lot of horror into it. Yes, in all of their situations, Pennywise is there kind of fucking it up and making them face it head on, trying to bring out the fear. I get that, but it's just not very effective. It's far more emotional, I'd say. And also in some of these arcs, the CGI hurts it. Like there's some downright goofy looking CGI moments where, you know, you're sitting on a bench and all of a sudden you got like a fucking CGI kaiju lumberjack wielding like some type of World of Warcraft item as a fucking weapon coming at you. And it looks kind of like a video game cutscene. It's not believable. It's just really silly. And that's a little disappointing, but if it was going for silly, it nailed it. And it's hard to tell because the movie is self-aware in certain places, but then you have this whole thing that's kind of like, this is supposed to be scary, but it's not. And that comes out pretty hard at the end, which I'll talk about in a minute. I'll get into spoilers just to kind of make my point, and I'll let you know well before I get into there, but I'd really like to get that out. Another thing I really appreciated about the movie is that it wasn't afraid to shy away from being brutal again, like the first one. I always appreciate that, because in a lot of modern horror movies, even if they are R-rated, their idea of being brutal is, here's some severed arms and here's some severed legs. They don't really show how it gets to that point or what goes on. It shows you all of that shit, and I guess I can appreciate that to a certain degree just because most modern horror movies are so pussified, just very pussied. They're just not, they don't have any bite to them. At least I think in its deaths and brutal shit, it goes kind of hard in that department. And I really just don't have a whole lot of negative things to say about this. The comedy landed when there was elements to try and make you creeped out. It sometimes worked, though it never really felt earned with enough tension built up for it. But it was always fun to see. I think the It franchise has a unique advantage where it can show you all types of fun stuff. It's not locked into just like paranormal shit where a chair is moving weirdly or somebody's possessed and they're walking around like fucking Frankenstein's monster hands out. It shows you a lot of cool shit. You have a clown just fucking with you and showing you some really cool shit, and I really enjoyed that, even if it wasn't all that scary. Now, at the end of the movie, now I am going to get into spoilers, just a few spoilers, forewarning if you want to avoid that. The end of the movie gets downright very silly to me. I think the CGI with Pennywise the spider doesn't really work all that well. It looks like some low-budget Dead Space shit to me. I didn't think that was very intimidating, and I really don't like that trope of, you know, he's been omniscient this whole time, and now all of a sudden characters can kind of sneak around to the side of him while he's distracted slapping at a wall. Yeah, this entire movie, he knows everything going on everywhere about every single one of these characters. Now, when they infiltrate his lair at the very end, he has no idea where they're going or what's going on. That makes no sense. That's when he should be strongest, right? And if he can't, like, read their minds like he has been able to, All he had to do was, like, out of his fucking peripherals, he would have seen people sneaking around to his right and maybe acted sooner and stopped them in their tracks. It's just a horror movie trope, I suppose. And I also thought when they defeat him, it looked extremely easy, and it's something he should have expected, because it's kind of what they fucking did in the first one already. They basically just defeat him by insulting him. Hey, your dick's small. You're just a clown. You're just a small clown. You're a clown, you're a clown, you're a clown. He starts shrinking and shrinking. Oh no, you're hurting my feelings. I'm big, no. And then they crush his heart, and that's the end of it. It's underwhelming. And I know that's how, I understand it follows the book a bit. I didn't read the book, but I understand that this shit happens in the book as well. So I get it, but, you know, as when they were younger, you can excuse it because it's kids doing it. You know, it's very different when you have 40-year-old men and women doing it. Like, you're a clown, you're small, fuck your stupid dumb stuff, and he's shrinking. It's just a little goofier, and it really wasn't that threatening at the end, in my opinion, especially after, you know, you have 2 movies to build up a final showdown, and you get it like that, where it just ends up a roast, really shitty roast. Just kind of underwhelming. That's my only, like, actual huge complaint, just because I felt that was just not very good. But putting that aside, let's plug It Chapter 2 into the Moist meter. I'm giving It Chapter 2 a nice 80%. I think it is a very enjoyable movie with a lot to offer anyone. It has a very long runtime, but I think it's warranted. I think there's enough substance in the movie. I think nothing really feels overly rushed, and I just really enjoyed it start to finish. A very solid horror flick that's surprisingly humorous. That's about it. See ya. You ever been to a dog show with the sole purpose of arguing with the other dudes there about how your dog is the most exotic? What do you mean, no? What's wrong with you? You off your gourd or something? This is what sane, healthy people do.
It is what it is. I don't give a fuck. Why? Because it's exotic. This right here, everybody has. This right here, nobody has. Exotic is something. I got the
ain't nobody got this, though.
Everybody got Bluffy.
Nobody got this. And exotic got the smash mug, not the long snout.
Long snout? How you figure? That's the 2 fingers.
Snout.
He could breathe. Wait. You got a tail? You got a tail? You got a tail? Oh, shit.
It's pure chaos here at the Westminster Dog Show. It's going nuts. There's blood and guts everywhere, and there will be no survivors. Like, this is like a lot of hostility here at the dog presentation. It's like listening to Bills fans and Chiefs fans arguing. All this while holding dogs that they're treating like pieces of jewelry. Specifically, the dude that looks like the Rizzler was set to Wumbo and then found cocaine, the guy that's really like fucking steaming. He just keeps going on about how exotic his dog is and how no one has it, as he's like showing it off like a luxury car.
No high rear though.
This ain't high rear.
Stand
You
up.
crazy?
Stand that dog up. Stop putting that rear back.
Not putting no rear
Putting
back.
that rear back.
Let's do a side shot.
Putting that rear
Side
back.
shot. Let's do a side shot. Let's do a side shot. Let's do a side shot.
Buddy tries to call him out for high rear, looking to throw a flag on the play, like, nah, it's disqualification, rear too high. And then he's like, high rear, that's the most outrageous thing I've ever seen. I do say, my good chap, that is outlandish. It's this whole thing is so absurd, and I feel horrible for the dogs here. They all look like they have been bred for the sole purpose of being in these kind of shows from these fucking weirdos. So I imagine they probably have like a lot of health problems. Like, it's no secret, this kind of garbage can cause a lot of like genetic issues in them, and it's very sad. Especially the one that the protagonist here, the main character, is really liking to show off. That poor dog looks like one of the fucking Guardians from Ghostbusters when the main villain shows up. In the way that they're handling the dogs, it's like they don't even view them as a living, breathing creature. They are truly just an accessory that they are trying to win a competition with, and that's all. It's so fucking weird. Now, you may have heard the guy in a coke-fueled frenzy throw down the gauntlet saying, side shot. He is now challenging his heckler here to a side profile showdown. And in the dog world, that's like saying parlay to a pirate. It must be honored. So now they're about to do a side profile 1v1 here on Rust to see whose dog is the most exotic.
Pull him to the side.
Let's go. Side shot.
Put that motherfucker to the side, bro.
Waiting for.
Let's see that shit. Fuck what the judge saying. You talking that shit.
I'm gonna talk
what
that
the judge
shit.
saying. You talking that shit. Let's see that shit. Let's see That shit got that Chihuahua face. That shit ain't got a bully face. That shit got a Chihuahua face. That's a fluffy Chihuahua, nigga.
It is.
Fuck out of here.
It is.
You're talking that shit.
Get that fake. But look at that
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, shit.
Talking that shit.
Wrong ass bus. Get that fucking bus out of here.
This is high-level dog management right here from the owners. Did you see that technique? He turns his dog to the side and immediately hits the Ric Flair woos, woo, over and over again. Like, did you see that? What happened? This is some impressively pathetic stuff here. I don't know how these dudes go home and look themselves in the mirror without tears in their eyes, crying at the fact that they're such huge fucking losers. It is shocking to me. Even the dogs look embarrassed to be there with them.
Get that bus out of here, baby. Come on, man. Get that bus out of here.
Your dog's scared, fam. Your dog is scared.
Man, be scared.
Your dog is scared,
He's still more
man.
exotic than yours, though.
You wish.
He's still more exotic than
Long
yours.
hair don't
though.
make it exotic, bro. That's a
So
chow
what the
chow.
fuck? What it makes
That's
it
a
then?
chow chow.
What it makes it then?
That's a chow
What it makes
chow.
it then? Do you have it?
That's
no.
a hairy
Do you
mutt.
have
Show
it?
the pedigree.
Do you have it?
Show the pedigree.
Ant-Man, baby.
Ain't no fucking
Ant-Man.
fluffy
Ant-Man,
billies,
baby.
I can't believe a fight didn't break out right there between those two. The second he called for the pedigree check, oh man, I thought there was gonna be some haymakers swinging there. I thought that was about to get real pugilistic real quick.
Ant-Man all day.
Yeah, show the
Ant-Man all
pedigree.
day.
Show the
I
pedigree.
can show the
Show the
pedigree.
bloodline.
I show the
There's somewhere down the
Ant-Man.
line. There's some fucking fluffy down there.
Bake, baby.
Ain't no babe.
boy.
Ain't nothing babe look like that. Nothing like babe look like that, bro. Nothing like babe look like that.
I know what I did. I know what I did.
It don't look like it.
It don't have to look like it. Don't
You know what
worry.
I'm saying?
Get ready for what's coming, though. Get ready for what's coming.
Oh, I'm
Get
ready.
Man's out here talking like he's in the NBA championship game. Get ready for what's coming. I'm dunking from the free throw line like Air Jordan. I swear to God. Brother, calm down. You're at a dog show. Get ready for what's coming. Mayan calendar predicted end of the world's 2012. Guess what? It's 2025. I'm shutting the world down with my dog right here. You're not ready for this.
We waiting. We waiting.
Get ready.
There won't be no long snout shit.
This ain't
That
what's
look like
now.
a fucking
What's now? What's
Yorkie.
now?
That shit Yorkie. That shit more Yorkie than bully.
Let's see who can run and come back without breathing.
That shit more Yorkie than
Let's see
bully.
who can run and come back.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's see who can
My
run
dog
and come
fully
back.
functional.
He's functional as fuck.
You know what I'm saying? None
Fully
of that
functional.
bullshit.
That's good, baby. Get that clout off of Bluffy. Get that clout off of the
I don't
Bluffy,
need
my
clout.
guy.
I don't need
Yeah.
clout.
Sure.
I don't need
Sure.
clout. Real bulls
Sure,
back
sure.
in style. And there ain't no fucking bull.
Yeah.
That ain't no fucking
Yeah,
bull.
yeah, hell yeah, it ain't no bull, baby.
Fuck
Got more
outta
front
here.
than yours.
That shit
Fuck
mutt.
outta here.
These owners were getting so feral there for a second. I thought they were about to start eating their dogs there for a moment. Just like actually like, oh yeah, not functional. Well, he can run there and back. And he also tastes great. And then just takes like a bite out of him or something. Shit was going like actually Insano style. This guy's now bubbling over with rage. That ain't no fucking bull! And the other guy's like trying to get on his ass for clout chasing off of his, I think he calls it a bluffy, is what he was saying. I don't really know. But man, they are like actually foaming at the mouth here.
Hell yeah. Let it be a month. Let it be a month. This is the new month. This is the new wave. Look at that front. Come on, baby. Look at that front. I see cameras on this. What about that? Fuck out of here. Get that shit off the table. Fuck out of here.
They looking at that shit because they don't know what the fuck it is. That's why.
They're looking at it like,
That's why. 'Cause they don't know what it is, bro.
This is the new
They
wave.
don't know what it is.
Trust me.
They don't know what it is.
Trust me when I tell you. The new wave.
There's just no way it can be this serious. Like, what's on the line? What do you win? A year-long subscription to Chewy or something? Like, I cannot imagine it's worth all of this fuss. These two goofballs are about to blow a gasket. They're arguing like it's an Xbox Live lobby. All over this weird dog show that they're at. Also, apparently this isn't that unusual. 4 years ago, there was an actual brawl at one of these kind of things. This was at something called a bully takeover, which I think is probably like the same competition that we're watching this argument at, since the whole thing they were talking about was like bullies and shit there too. So like, it feels as though like this is less of a dog competition and more of like a place where you can bring your dogs and eat some knuckle sandwiches. It's just such an unlikely event to imagine such a heated argument to arise at, or a violent brawl. And it is a violent brawl. Like, it's like a hockey fight. I can't show you any clips because I think the video would probably get taken down or flagged by YouTube. But like, it's an actual like hockey fight where one guy's grabbing the other guy and they're just fucking exchanging blows. And apparently it was a full brawl. It wasn't just those two, but in that video right there, they were like kind of the centerpiece to all of it. So it's just so weird that these dog shows apparently are so incredibly hostile. Like, maybe all the guys who show up are the ones that are actually neutered, not the dogs, so they just go there with a chip on their shoulder or something. I have no fucking clue. But it is wacky to watch. Anyway, I saw this today and I just had to yap about it a little bit. I don't know what animal there won the competition, but really, there are no winners there. And again, I feel so fucking terrible for those dogs. Not only are the owners just loose cannon, unhinged lunatics, but the way that they have been bred, I think no doubt has led to them having health issues, most likely. And that's just super sad. Anyway, that's about it. So, yep. It was this. Cocky teen's brilliant escape plan ruins his life in minutes. Is this AI or does he actually have the license plate that says will run? No, it's actually real. Okay, I've got to check this out. Is everyone okay? Like, no one gets, like, seriously injured in here or anything, right? Yeah, it's fine. I already watched it. Okay.
Yeah, there's a cop, by the way.
When a sergeant spots bikers performing stunts on a busy road, he initiates a traffic stop, but he doesn't realize they have no intention of cooperating, especially one teen who will do anything to flaunt his stunts right in front of them.
I hate that shit. It's not even cool, it's just cringe. Will run. Alright, tough guy.
Right in front of them.
Oh, come on, come on!
Back again to try and talk this a little bit more.
Man, this guy sounds like a character out of the Amazing Digital Circus.
6:42 p.m. on March 12,
Why has he got a voice like a cartoon character?
In the Port Orange area of Volusia County, Florida, where a sergeant observes 3 sport bikes popping wheelies and riding on their rear tires. But as he initiates a traffic stop, he has no idea the pursuit is about to stretch across counties, and that one teen biker in particular has no intention of stopping.
Yeah, they're continuing north. It's going up to 95. I have no idea. I'm back here, so I'm just going to watch a little bit.
Damn, what is this doodad here? Like an EMF reader for cops. The fuck is this? I haven't seen that before.
Soon the 3 bikes come to a stop at a traffic signal, and the sergeant notes down 2 license plates, while the third, a black bike, has no tag.
There's 3 of them. You can't miss them. I'm just watching 3 motorcycles that were reckless on Dunlawton doing wheelies, and one of them's got a tag on it, will run. He went 12F from a beach unit last week, so I was just trying to see if I can get him to park on it. So.
Just ask him nicely to park.
The plate on a gray
He's just
bike
goofing around with that
will
license
run.
plate.
Will run. The plate on a gray bike reading will run stands out because the sergeant recognizes it as the same vehicle that had fled from deputies during Bike Week, held just 1 week earlier from March 1st to 10th.
You went to line or the 3, yeah?
Just went through the light northbound.
The teen riding that bike is 19-year-old Ashton. And just like
Hi,
before,
Ashton.
he has no intention of stopping, already setting his plan in motion the moment he realizes the sergeant is following them.
Can you confirm the spelling of that tag for that will run, please?
Yeah, it looks like it's WILLRUN, but I'm not even sure it's a legit plate. It may just be a plate that he made.
I copy, yeah, because that plate goes back on the black Chevy 2-door. It's expired.
Oh.
I think I got it.
Okay.
Here at ISB.
Already a bit of turmoil in the group.
Hey, we can go both ways. Either we can take 415 there, or we can take this way there. The cop's going straight. Yeah, there's a cop, by the way.
I copy. Do you want me to have the coming through your way?
Okay, hang on a second.
But Ashton and another biker quickly sense the sergeant's intentions and take off before he can stop them, leaving the third rider behind.
Bye, friends. Oh, he lunged at him like it was Left 4 Dead.
turn your bike off. All right, the will run guy is eastbound on ISB 12F. I've got one of them though. Driver's license, registration, insurance card.
What did I do?
I watched you do a wheelie on Dunlawton.
What is she doing here? Is she part of this? Peanut Gallery's chiming in over here, live on the front lines.
With her on the back.
Right down between another car, and I have the dash cam if you want it.
I got him. Who's the guy you're riding next to?
I don't know them. I met up with them randomly and we were going to
Ma'am, I'm busy.
the gas station.
Post it on YouTube if you want.
Which gas station?
Bucky's.
Huh?
Bucky's.
I got one representation from me. You're code 4.
Yeah, I'm code 4. I've got one stop. The will run guy and the other guy took off eastbound. Supposedly they're all headed towards the Bucky's, but there's no telling that.
Oh, that's a safe zone.
I don't know them. I apologize.
Where's your registration at?
I'm all legal. I was being dumb, man.
Yeah, you were being dumb. What are you going to do when she dies because you go too far and she falls off the back?
I apologize.
That's like a $1,200 ticket. So.
I'll test it.
All I got on him is
Holy.
the will run guy.
That is the most G.I. Joe looking face I've seen in a minute.
Oh yeah. How old are you? How old are you?
But for Ashton, simply escaping the police isn't enough. He wants to show them how hard it will be to catch him, and he turns back to put on a show.
Oh, God.
Dude, I hope that... I see that shit like, hell no, bitch. Got me up.
Having a voice like that at 19's gotta be brutal.
I just pulled into Wawa real quick. You passed. I see you passing. I saw you. I'm catching up.
Man, sounding like an animaniac.
I'm catching up. I saw you.
There they are right there. River 10 seconds. The other two are going to come back.
Come on, come on.
It's pretty cool! Said he's so badass.
They're back eastbound doing wheelies down ISB.
What's the cop doing getting the fucking car, dude? The cop was gonna run after him. Yeah, I don't know why he was walking towards him.
The lieutenant decides to take off after Ashton and his companion. The sergeant decides to stay.
Why would... What are you thinking, man? What? Fucking Bazooka Joe over here is gonna speed walk at him? What do you... Why, man? Just get in the car. Like, what are you doing?
Lieutenant decides to take off after Ashton and his companion. The sergeant decides to stay back to gather as much information as he can from the third rider, hoping to learn where the group might be headed and where they can find Ashton.
You know he'll be back. Oh, I'm going to go yoke him off that bike. I was hoping that I could hold him down.
Yoke him off that bike? Is that even an express?
yeah,
What does
fine.
yoking someone off mean?
I'm just going to stroke him a wheelie ticket.
Oh, I would 100%. 1166 with her on the back. Kidding me?
But once isn't enough, and Ashton decides to return to rub his escape skills in the face of the police.
His escape skills. Brother, they're not chasing him. What escape skills? He just drove away. They stopped somebody else.
Damn, whoa. You're gonna come at us. Look at him.
You came back again to try and talk us a little bit more. now westbound, and I think they might get on the 95. One's a black crotch rocket, no tag visible. The other one's a silver one, both wearing black helmets. So listen, man, no bullshit. You know this guy?
No, I promise you. So I went and got gas at some like Circle K.
Circle K?
Some Circle K over on Port Orange.
I can't hear Circle K anymore without thinking of that Drake verse. Running out of sodas, I might walk to Circle K by myself.
I don't do all that. I have my tag up. I'm all legal. I don't do all that stuff. That's dumb.
This is a citation for riding a wheelie. Okay? 30 days to take care of it, or they will suspend your driver's license. That's your key back. You need to understand something, young man. That was extremely dumb.
I know.
Okay?
Really
Especially with her on the back.
Really dumb.
You want to go out and yourself, go run your bike into a tree. But when you got somebody on the back, it's a whole different story.
Inspirational officer.
No way I'm going to listen to this. Okay? So, you need to knock it off. Next time it may not be as nice. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
The sergeant finds out that the group was headed to a convenience store in Daytona Beach. As more units are alerted about Ashton and his companion, several deputies join the chase, but they don't yet realize that despite their best efforts, this pursuit is far from over.
Yeah, this is a long one.
For these two motorcycles.
I don't know how it goes for that long. I assume they just don't go for like a dangerous chase, they just get the chopper on them.
I'm going to come up Williamson in case they decide to spin back around down here and taunt us some more.
I could have taken the one out of the light, but I didn't want to crash my car. So,
I wouldn't have wanted to crash my car either, but...
Yeah, that wouldn't have gone well. With me being off duty, but off that bike if he's sitting in one of these.
Alright, I'm heading up that way.
7736 is coming up to Technology Boulevard right now. He's turning up. He's coming up to LPGA right now. Center lane. Fast lane, nice and smooth. Heading up to the red light at 95 on LPGA.
While units desperately hit the gas to catch up with the lieutenant already in pursuit of Ashton, the teen appears more thrilled by the chase than anything else, weaving dangerous.
This used to be
traffic at
popular
high
content
speeds.
on YouTube. I see a lot of people saying this is the result of TikTok. It's not. I feel like a lot of people forgot that a long time ago on YouTube, there was an entire community of people that would get on their bikes and instigate cop chases. Like, the most notable was Ghost Rider. Forgot the numbers, but it was Ghost Rider and then some numbers. This has been around for decades. This isn't anything new. This is not like a point and blame TikTok type of thing. Just because this guy has like TikTok voice, it's not the result of that.
And putting the lives of others on the road at risk.
People in Mustangs did it as well. I think that was still Ghost Rider, right? Maybe not. Maybe I'm misremembering. I just remember Ghost Rider was the most notable one on his bike.
Come here. And I'm like, you think we're really gonna come? I knew it too. I'm like, bro, there's the top. Yeah, I saw that.
Spike strips are a no-go, it'll kill the biker. Well, no shit, they're not gonna spike strip the bikes going like 80.
I said might as well.
Yeah, that's just insta-killing someone.
Yeah.
As Ashton and the other biker stop at a gas station, the lieutenant quickly catches up and attempts to block the black bike with his vehicle, but once again, Ashton and his friend manage to flee, only making the situation worse.
We've been southbound from the 268 on 95. We haven't passed the motorcycles yet, so they likely did get off at LBJ. They're at Bucky's. One's fleeing out of the parking lot, one's looping back around in the parking lot. If I can get some additional units. I still got Will Run in the parking lot. If I can get additional unit here, we can get him off this bike. We're getting ready to get off right now, off the interstate.
We're behind him, coming up to the light, and he is getting on 95 northbound. Southbound.
136, Air 1. Check with Tomoka Farms there. He's probably.
Let me skip around here. So I get the chopper out to take a peek.
GoPro on the head. Looks like he's got some red writing on the back of that hoodie.
Pretty OP. You can't really beat the chopper.
Wheels.
You can go under like a bridge and hope for the best, but it's pretty tough.
Let's see. We're passing the runway coming up on Riddle.
Okay, that ISB. Yeah, you're running the red light through ISB. He's going to be westbound ISB.
Ocean 30's got eyes on him. Still westbound.
Okay, he's at ISB. Yeah, he's running the red light through ISB. He's going to be westbound ISB. Westbound Hagen Terrace. He's going between vehicles, running red lights.
Is this still Ashton?
As most responding deputies lose sight of Ashton, Air 1 continues to track his every move, guiding units on the ground to his location. But even with constant eyes on him, deputies know the only way to catch him is if he stops somewhere, a possibility that for now seems almost non-existent.
Well, Air 1's got him, so... Damn, I thought we were going to get to come around and...
He's about half a mile from
Come around and what?
He's right at Williamson.
You're gonna pit maneuver the bike?
ISB, still westbound.
Just kill the guy?
Yep, keep eyes there, one. He's going to run out of gas at some point. The speeds he's been running, he didn't get fuel, so he's going to stop somewhere.
Doing about 130, and he's pulling away from us.
Yeah, just do your best there, one. He's probably going to get off somewhere and try to get gas. He's hoping if he gets far enough lead, nobody will know where he's at.
Yeah, well, the camera reaches a lot farther, so we're doing our best here.
God damn! Every f***ing light?
Or can I go over to the 7 line, just in case he bails over there?
Okay, he's turning westbound Walnut Crest Run.
By this point, Ashton has already entered Seminole County, and authorities in Volusia
Seminole
County
County!
alert Sanford police officers to be on the lookout.
Heard that one a lot.
With multiple units now joining the chase. They
That one's
begin
been
to close
very popular in
waiting
chases.
for Ashton to stop, but he knows they're after him, and still has one last trick up his sleeve.
Yeah, he doesn't know where he's going. He's making a
Oh
U-turn.
no, that's desperate.
LE4 units, pursuit is not authorized and neither stop stick. Negative, not this time.
Alright, he's driving into the woods. Walnut Ridge Street. Willow Bay Ridge Street.
I think up that way for you.
Yeah, if you want to go ahead and get them up.
Alert to Air 1.
Alert, go ahead.
Yep, we were going to a fire. We can head over there now. What was the last street you guys are at?
301 Willow Bay Ridge Street. He's in the woods, right off the road.
He's gone.
Yeah, bike's in the trees. I got the heat from the bike, but it's pretty thick. I haven't got anybody leave the bike yet. He might still be with it.
I feel like the woods
He's
is
back out.
just
Stand by.
never worked. It's just not a viable strategy.
Yeah, we'll come back there if we have to, but we're gonna go Wilson Bay Court now. North on Wilson Bay. He has no idea where he's going.
As Seminole County's helicopters take over tracking Ashton's movements, Sanford officers don't yet realize they're closer than ever to catching his ass as soon as he makes an unexpected stop.
Visual on the bike. It's still eastbound Seminole towards HCA. At French, just ran the light at French, going westbound 46. Alright, he's at 7-Eleven. He's probably out of gas.
That quick?
Black hoodie, get back on the bike, tan pants, black helmet, white bike, whitish gray bike. Coming back out, he's in the left turn lane, 600 and French. Or sorry, French making a left on first.
Alright, 1933. 1951.
Alright, somebody just tried to step out with him. He stopped at 2nd and Oak.
Get off the bike. Get off the bike. Turn off the bike and get off the bike. Turn off the bike and get off the bike.
I'm just a little baby boy. I'm just a baby boy. I'm just a baby boy. Stop it.
Just making contact, one at gunpoint.
Get off the bike. Get off.
Just a kid, I give up.
What the f- Officer action out here going for the RKO. He almost just ate shit. What was that? Do they teach that in training? What the fuck was this? It was like a dog with the zoomies.
Get off the bike and get off the bike.
Just a kid.
Get off the bike.
I'm cooperating. I'm just a kid.
2 units making contact, one at gunpoint.
Here he comes.
Get off the bike. Get off.
Just a kid. I give up. I give up. I'm just a kid.
You messed up,
I'm
bro.
just a kid.
You messed up.
Adrenaline got the best of him, yeah. Man hit that fucking pure away. I'm so curious what his plan was. What was this maneuver? Like he was gonna throw him over the bike or something? Like tabletop him? Huh. I don't know. Fascinating.
Man, I give up. I give up.
Down.
I give up. I'm just a kid.
You messed up, bro.
I'm just a kid.
You messed up.
Now the video doesn't go as hard, Ashton. You just keep saying you're a kid, man. You've ruined how cool and badass the video you were making was.
Yep. You're done, bro.
Second
No, bro.
Oh, just stop it, man. Now you're making it worse.
Here, call your mom.
At least try and act hard.
None of that.
You were doing that so much earlier.
That's cute. Will run. Look at that. Look at that. What's your mom gonna say about that? We'll get caught. And you got a GoPro. We're gonna take that as evidence.
Tell her to Volusia, they got one secure.
Stand him up. Come on. Hurry, put your legs in.
Oh, man, was that fun? No, not really. Just a kid. I'm just a kid. I'm just a kid.
Now you make everything worse. So now you're going to jail with multiple counties, multiple felonies.
Oh, fucking Goober's getting cooked, bro.
God, you are still standing here, not there.
Yeah, I was trying to like wave a cop and just go give up.
Oh, we should have done that. That'd have been a good idea.
Would you run out of gas?
Yeah, I was trying to wave to that cop. I was like, hey, I'm just...
What about when you were in Ormond Beach? Were you trying to give up then? When you were running past all the units? The body that you were running with? Which one? When you left Bucky's?
Automatic suspension.
Yes, sir. Same address.
Has your mom seen this bike before?
How old are you, man?
What did she say about the tag?
What was that?
What did she say about the tag?
I don't know if she's ever seen it or not, so...
I bet she's proud, though, bro. This was pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, he's recording.
Yeah, I took it off so we could submit it for evidence.
He knew he was when he looked up and started seeing those out. Yeah. What was your game plan, dude?
Nothing rude. I just didn't know what to do.
I told you, find
You pull
a
over
cop
and you
and flag
stop
him
before you
down.
kill someone. That's what you did. Yeah.
Or yourself.
No, I was running inside of me. No, not the good. Yeah. Your eyes.
How does this go on for another 14 minutes? Do they just keep roasting him? His mom comes and defends him? Wait, are you serious? Or is that just a joke? Let me see. Wait, you might be right.
Oh, bullshit. Now, I think you know exactly who this other dude is that's telling you how to go up here and f*** the cops.
I don't, officer. I just didn't know what to do. I'm a kid riding with a couple bikes.
Why do you keep saying that, man?
Well, tonight you're a kid that's going to jail. Who are these ladies that are here with you?
My mom and sister.
How did they know to come over here?
They probably tracked me on my phone. I'm wondering why I'm over here.
And when we got to ISB, I got out of my truck to try and stop him, and he fled. I was able to snag one of the guys, though, that was with him that was also doing a wheelie. So while I was writing him a ticket, your son and another motorcyclist that was with him decided to ride back from wherever they had fled to into the intersection of Williamson and International Speedway Boulevard, doing circles in the intersection, taunting us to come chase them. He then fled.
And is that a crime to have fun with the police?
Well, it's all on video. Okay.
Since when can we not have a little bit of
Another deputy
sport?
tried to stop him because they located him at Bucky's in the parking lot. He fled from that lieutenant. And eventually the helicopter got on top of him, and he decided to drive over I-4 at over 130 miles an hour.
That's the speed limit.
Through red lights, in and out of traffic.
Red lights are more of a
And lo
suggestion.
and behold, he ends up over here where
I-4?
I-4, he
But there's not red lights. So.
Okay, let's stop.
But you're just saying
He's
around.
running red lights all night.
So basically, he fled. You know where the speedway is?
Shit, she's a lawyer.
Once
She's
he got to
good.
the speedway,
She's
he
good.
just
She got
started
him.
running it. And he was blowing through all the red lights. And once he got, if you take speedway towards this direction, it merges onto I-4. Then he got on I-4, and he did basically what the max speed of the bike was because he was outrunning our helicopter. But they got elevation, so they were able to keep everything in video and keep us surprised of where he was at. So that's the deal.
Yeah. So he gets over here, and I guess at some point they get him pinned in, and he's now riding circles around the officers over here, like a smartass.
Okay, but do you think he was just scared and trying to just
No, I think he's
get home?
stupid.
Because I don't.
No, I think he's stupid.
Live here, he doesn't.
Why would he
know.
come back and do wheelies?
Ma'am,
and flick people off?
he's fleeing the police. You're trying to make excuses for him. He's being stupid tonight. He's lucky he didn't.
That doesn't
kill
sound like he's
himself
not
or somebody
stupid
else.
though.
I agree with
But
that.
he's not
If this is
stupid.
What happened? I agree.
If this is what it's all on
But
video.
I don't believe necessarily.
He's been videoing it with his damn GoPros.
The going around. I believe that he was probably scared and just.
So he was so
Damn,
scared
she's
that he decided
good.
to do circles in the middle of International Speedway Boulevard, taunting us to come chase him.
Question, ma'am. Why do you think he has a tag on his vehicle that says "Will Run"?
Because it was bike week and it was a joke.
Okay, and you've been a driver and a motorist for quite some time, right? You know you're not supposed to have any other tag other than what's registered on your vehicle. This isn't a joke, and I will tell you, for people like him, it's a culture. This is what they do. They post on YouTube of running from the car.
Wow, wait, this guy knows ball. He's 100% right. That's exactly what I was talking about, like with Ghost Rider. Wow, this guy kind of knows his shit, huh? It wasn't just being stupid. This guy's 100% right. It is for his videos. Like, that is entirely the whole reason he did it. This guy's right. I mean, it is stupid, but it's not just because he's a fucking idiot. It's because he's obsessed with clout. He yoked him. That's what the cop was doing. Oh, that maneuver over the bike, that was the yoke? Damn, they gotta keep that one in the lab. They gotta workshop it. So what'd they get him with? Wow. That hair goes crazy. That's like some WWE type shit, and when you're making create a character in 2K.
Attempting fleeing, eluding at high speed ×2. Over the line fleeing, attempting to elude ×3. Possession of a counterfeited license plate. Over the line possession of counterfeit license plate. Counterfeit motor vehicle registration. Misdemeanor, resisting obstructing an officer. Reckless driving, and altering license plate validation sticker. His total bond for both cases is $199,100.
That's nothing though, because the awesome video that he filmed will easily pay for that off the AdSense. As long as he cuts out the ending with the whole, like, spamming I'm a kid stuff.
$50. Eventually, he was found guilty.
Oh!
4 counts of fleeing, attempting to elude, and counterfeit motor vehicle registration. The remaining charges were dismissed. Ultimately, he was sentenced to 6 months in jail, 48 months probation, 2 years driver's license revocation, and community service.
Damn, Ashton. But how epic was that experience though, huh, brother? Not having license for 2 years in Florida must suck. Bro, that's just more of a suggestion. Him not having a license isn't gonna do shit. He's 1000% driving right now. You think he'll post the video? Like his GoPro POV? I guarantee you he already has somewhere. There's no doubt in my mind he has. A lot of you know this, but I recently took up the multi-year task of watching every video game adaptation ever made. So every movie based on a video game, I will be watching to find definitively the best one and the worst one, ranking them from worst to best. I've watched in total 6 now, but I've only made 2 videos on them, one for Silent Hill 2006 and one for Silent Hill Revelations. But I've watched 4 others, I just haven't made any content on them. And that's because they're more modern movies, which means the copyright on them is a little stricter. So like when I did Silent Hill Revelations, that got flagged pretty hard. Immediately YouTube came in with the fucking whistle, the hall monitor badge, and slapped the old copyright claim and block handcuffs on the video. So for these 4, I don't think I could make big videos on each of them, so instead, I'm just gonna yap about them right here to your face. So spread your lats, get ready, I'm coming in hot. So the first 3 I did in a batch because I was just going to make one video for this entire series of live-action video game adaptations. It's the Tomb Raider series. I didn't want to break these up into individual videos. I thought it'd be better just to do them all in like a batch. So let's start with 2001 Angelina Jolie fronted Tomb Raider. This movie I actually have pretty fond memories of because I actually watched this after coming back from the hospital and having an eye patch on my eye because my friend's dog bit my eyeball. So I spent the day at the hospital, they were tending to my wound, they were performing voodoo magic and dropping, sacred Phoenix down eye drops in there to fix it all up. And when I got sent home with an eye patch on, my dad threw on Tomb Raider and he said, we're gonna watch this tonight. To date, probably still the only time my father has ever willingly watched a video game adaptation, or anything even loosely based on a video game. I think it was just that early 2000s Angelina Jolie hype train. So, this film is somewhat sentimental to me. And going back and watching it, I can confidently say, it's fine. Like, it's a fun movie. It doesn't do anything super special. It's very much a product of its time, which I actually think is a really charming aspect of it. Everything about this film wants to be extreme. So, like, the very first scene, she's, like, hanging upside down and then fights a robot. And actually, the robot looks pretty good. Like, this film does have some very bad CGI moments. I mean, it's 2001, of course, it's gonna have some fucking wonkiness. But for the most part, I actually think this looks better than most of the old DCU movies from a few years back, like with The Flash and all of that shit. This film looks pretty solid overall, and it's really fun. She's using video game moves during her robot fight, so she's doing like backflips and shit. She's dual wielding and doing all kinds of like gun fu on it. It's like really well choreographed. And it of course tries to suckle from the teat of the Matrix because, I mean, it's the early 2000s. So it has like her dodging bullets and stuff and doing those kind of maneuvers, which really fits in line with the Lara Croft character overall, to be honest. I really think the action in this was a slapper. I thought it was such a good thrill ride. Now the story, it's nothing amazing. I was surprised to see Daniel Craig here, but the story, I wrote it down. Basically, the bad guys have a chance at getting a triangle key, or they'll have to wait 5,000 years because of planetary alignment cucking them. And okay, I went out of order because I jumped from like my plot synopsis to Angelina Jolie wore tit enhancers. So, I'm jumping around a little bit. Yeah, Angelina Jolie has like a quadruple D cup here that is extremely perky, and I looked it up. She wore booby boosters. She had breast augments, like big padding, in order to more closely resemble the Lara Croft diamond titties, like the pointed polygon titties. So that's worth mentioning. I thought that was kind of wacky that they did that. But anyway, the plot, they need to get this triangle key. It's the Illuminati. The organization is the Illuminati. They need to get this key in this very strict time frame so that way they can get the artifact that will allow them to control time itself. So they have like a time manipulator doohickey doodad that they're trying to get their greasy little Illuminati paws on. And eventually Lara Croft meets the bad guy, and he's fundamentally just a Redditor. He's like a prototype Redditor. All of his lines are so cringy. Like, one of his lines is, "Your ignorance amuses me. What a pleasurable torment this shall be," and stuff like that. There's also a side boobie scene with Angelina Jolie, which I vividly remember being like a big like wow moment back in the early 2000s. So that was cool, I guess. But yeah, basically, she is trying to stop them from getting the Triangle of Light and controlling time because you don't want that power in the bad guy's hands. So she is now trying to get the Triangle of Light herself. And it is a lot of action. There's like a bungee cord fight in her mansion, which is a really cool mansion, by the way, and the bungee cord fight is really cool. Again, I think the action super slaps. Daniel Craig, like I mentioned, is here, and he's like a pseudo love interest of Angelina Jolie, but he's working for the bad guys, and he's also kind of cringe. He is very on the nose with his exposition, so he reveals like the big twist that he's been contracted with the Illuminati to get the Triangle of Light, and he says, "Lara's in it for the glory. I'm in it for the money." So that's his whole character trait. Money, 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 money. He's Mr. Krabs. It's not deep. This film doesn't even really try to give you a compelling narrative. And that's by far like the worst element of it. It's fun, like it's a fun adventure. They go a lot of different places. She solves little puzzles and riddles, all of which are kind of cool. But there's no emotional weight to it. So Daniel Craig, his name is Alex. At the end of the film, they're all standing off, trying to get their hands on the Triangle of Light. And in order to try and force Laura to give over the Triangle of Light, the bad guy throws a knife and kills Alex. And thus, it prompts Laura to get the Triangle of Light to reset time, so that way she can save Alex. But you don't really care because the relationship between these two fucking sucks. That shit is flatter than my ass, and I have Hank Hill ass. So, by far the worst part of the film is like its story. It doesn't really do much to make any chemistry between the characters, but overall, I really did enjoy watching it. It is a fun early 2000s action flick. Now, moving on to the next Lara Croft Tomb Raider film. This one's Cradle of Life. This one has Gerard Butler. I didn't remember him being in this film either. But this one, I think, is definitely a step backwards. I think this one is just worse in every possible department. The action's not nearly as flashy or as cool, but I don't think it is a bad movie. It's just definitely worse in comparison to the first one. So, like, in the very beginning, there's a CGI rock avalanche at a wedding, and it looks like shit. It somehow looks worse than the first movie. I'm guessing what happened is, for the second film, they thought maybe they could, cheap out on the visual effects and maybe just focus more on star power with having Gerard Butler here and, Angelina Jolie. But it doesn't, I don't know, like, there's no chemistry between them either. I guess there's a little more between them than her and Alex from the previous film, who is completely forgotten, by the way. I don't think they even mentioned his name once here. It's like he never even existed. They fucking vanished after the Triangle of Light brought him back to life. But yeah, as more and more memories of it are coming back to me, I watched this like 2 weeks ago. I wrote everything down, but as I'm remembering more of it, it is actually significantly worse than the 2001 Tomb Raider film. Like, there's this CGI shark where she's like swimming to get like this golden ball, and there's like this CGI shark actually looks like something out of an indie game from Steam. I don't know what happened in the visuals department. I think that maybe they went on strike or something. They said, fuck it, I'll have my son finish it. He's used Blender once. I don't know what went wrong, but yeah, it looks much worse. Also, the story is a lot worse. There is still like a grand sense of adventure that I can appreciate, but it doesn't really have as many like intricate puzzles or anything to solve. It's all a lot more like streamlined and on rails. So it loses that sense of scale that the first one kind of had. And I also hate the villain in this one even more than the last one. He's even more cringe. So this guy is like a world-renowned super genius turbo megamind galaxy intellect, but he uses his mind for evil. He turns to a life of crime where he becomes a bioweapons trader. And he likes to release poison weapons to the world just to watch it all burn. So he's giving like this speech about how he just likes to see the effects of his bioweapons, his virus. It's like some shit out of Umbrella Corp, really. So he's giving this speech and he's talking about how he released enhanced Ebola, like super Ebola, and wants to sell it for $100 million to some bad guys. But he doesn't even really care about the money. He more so just likes people using his super Ebola and all of his other, engineered viruses just to kill people for the sake of it. But he believes that there is an even more potent bioweapon out there that he wants to get his greasy paws on. Pandora's box. That's the main item that must be retrieved by Lara because she doesn't want that falling into his hands. So MI6 gives her a huge exposition vomit sesh. They diarrhea out tons of info on the bad guy. I didn't write his name down, so I don't even remember the bad guy's name. But he really is that forgettable. He's kind of just a fucking loser. But he wants to use Pandora's box to kill the whole world, because Pandora's box in this film is a plague. That is what is in the box, and he wants to unleash it to destroy the planet. That is his entire mission, his whole goal. And Gerard Butler enters into the fold. His name is Terry, because Laura needs to team up with Terry because he's the best tracker she knows. He's like the most equipped for this mission. But he's in jail. He gets a deal from Laura to get him out of jail as long as he teams up with Laura, and the two then go try and get Pandora's box to stop the bad guy from having it. They drop out of the battle bus into China, and they find this underground group, the same group that she fought after the CGI sharks when she was getting the golden snitch. They confront the group. They're called the Shay Ling, and Lara Croft kills one of the guys, and then they drive motorcycles on the Great Wall of China. And then after they escape the Shay Ling, after causing a ruckus, Gerard Butler, Terry, reveals how he's still really salty that their relationship didn't go anywhere. These two were once romantic. Almost in love, you could say. But then things went cattywampus, and he's not happy. And Laura, she does not trust Terry. Yep. I did a really bad job at writing down the plot synopsis here. It's all over the place. But yeah, I wrote this down, and it's true. Terry's basically the exact same character as Daniel Craig. Like, personality-wise, he fills the same role. Literally like a one-to-one carbon copy of Alex. I have to imagine Daniel Craig just had other obligations, so he couldn't be part of this film. So they're like, all right, we'll just write a new guy and forget about Alex. Yeah, I don't know. It was interesting. But anyway, the reason their relationship crumbled is because he left her and abandoned his country, but he regrets it. Anyway, though, I don't know why I'm getting, like, even deep into this, because it doesn't matter. It's not fleshed out. It doesn't feel natural. There's no real chemistry between them. Again, it's very stale. Ultimately, the big part of this film, the action, is still intact and still fun. Like, the gunfights feel very much out of a Tomb Raider game from the PlayStation. The choreography is still pretty hype. It just looks worse than the first one. It does take a step back in its visuals, but I do appreciate that the action is still flashy and it is still fun. What ultimately happens, though, is they get to Pandora's box. They fight some shadow guardians, which are like these tree demons. So they fight like these, almost like tree imps. They just kill the shadow bad guys, and they're forced by the main bad guy to lead him to Pandora's box. And then she fights the main bad guy who likes bioweapons, and she throws him into a pit of acid that Pandora's box is sitting in. So he starts just melting and dying next to Pandora's box. And then Terry and Laura are face-to-face with the box. Laura obviously wants to leave the box, believing that this plague is too powerful for any one man to have. Terry, on the other hand, wants the box because he wants to sell it for money. He wants money. Remind you of anyone from the first film? So he says, I need this because I want to sell it. And, well, that's not gonna fly. So she refuses to let him, and so he slaps her and gets ready to shoot her, but then she beats him to it, shooting him. It's supposed to be emotional, but all movie these two are just not clicking, so who cares? Wasn't a hard choice is what I wrote down. It's very true. It wasn't a hard choice, and who cares? Overall, Cradle of Light, much worse than the first film, but still not a bad time. I actually find these Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider movies to be pretty charming. Like, I still did enjoy watching them. They're decent films. They're nothing special, but I think they're, I don't know, a good representation of early 2000s action flicks. Now we get to the final Tomb Raider movie, Tomb Raider 2018. I saw this film in theaters. I even did a moist meter on it. I didn't remember a single fucking scene of this movie until I recently rewatched it. Literally remembered nothing from it. It actually was pretty decent. I think it's not as fun as the early Angelina Jolie films, but it's really not bad. It is loosely adapting, loosely is not even accurate. It actually, in a lot of times, one-to-one adapts the Tomb Raider reboot game. Like, it's not perfect, but it does make like a very legitimate, passionate attempt to take the content from the game and translate it to the big screen. Of course, it takes some of its own creative liberties, but overall, it does a really decent job. Also, it's got my boy Walt Goggins in here, and I'm a big Goggins guy. I'm Google for Goggins. I think he is a great actor, and he's really enjoyable in this film as the main villain. He is the best villain in any of the Tomb Raider movies, I would say, very confidently. He's like the only one with an actual motive. He is tasked, and he gets the short end of the stick here, with being stranded on an island until he can procure this ancient paranormal entity that they can use to basically take over the world. This new bad organization. Well, I mean, not exactly new bad organization, but the organization that is the puppet masters to him. He is not allowed to leave until he can find it, but it takes him years to find it. Many, many years. So he is just stuck there, unable to leave, and he just so desperately wants to see his family again. And he will do anything to get back to his family. So he has an actual real motive to be the bad guy. But of course he is very evil. He just kills people willy-nilly. So, I will say, the beginning of this film is a really cool premise. It's again, you're going to recognize it. So, Himiko is an old ancient ruler who spread death with a touch but got imprisoned on an island by her generals, and Laura's dad has a map to it and leaves Laura behind to go unleash her. So her dad wanted to pursue Himiko, and this ancient organization also wants to pursue Himiko for much more nefarious purposes. You see, Laura's dad is doing this because he wants to find a way to bring his wife back. He wants proof that there is something beyond this realm, beyond our understanding of reality, so that maybe there is something that could bring his wife back, because she's gone. And he's very upset about that, naturally. So it's kind of like the polar opposite of Angelina Jolie's Lara Croft in this film. So the new Lara Croft here is very much in the beginning steps of her journey. So she gets her ass beat immediately. Like the first scene you see of this new Lara Croft, she loses a fight in the ring. And she's also much more quirky. Like, I really don't like the quirkification in this film. I think, again, this is just a symptom of the era that the movie was made, where everything needed to be quirky and quippy. So, like, when she loses the fight, one of her friends says that she got marmalized. Not a huge fan of dialogue like that. Anyway, Lara Croft is significantly weaker here than in any of the other movies. Again, she's just starting. She's learning. And she gets her ass beat. She's also extremely broke here, so she's living paycheck to paycheck as a carrier. And she's extremely broke because she is refusing her inheritance, because by accepting the inheritance, she would have to admit that her father is dead. Because, like I said, her father went to look for Himiko. Well, he abandoned Laura by doing that and hasn't been seen since. So he is presumed dead. Thus, she is entitled to the inheritance, but she doesn't want to sign the papers because it would be admitting that her father is dead. So she chooses to live her life broke and in the shadows, and she eventually takes this deal to be a fox in a fox hunt, where she rides her bike, leaving behind a paint trail for hunters to follow, and if they catch her, she loses, but if she gets away, she wins 600 quid. She loses, and she gets arrested, and then her guardian comes to save her, letting her know, you have so much money, why are you doing this for 600 quid? And that's when we learn about all of the exposition with, like, you know, I don't want the money because then it would mean admitting Papa has perished on that island. Well, she goes to the mansion because she's finally starting to come to terms with maybe she should just sign those papers. Her life would be easier, it'd be better. And she's in the mansion, and she happens to stumble across a secret room, and there's a tape in there that her father recorded, and it actually has the classic trope where it says, if you're watching this, I'm already dead. And then he goes into detail about Himiko asking Lara to burn the research. Obviously, Lara doesn't burn the research. She uses it to go to the island to find her father. And then we get to see a familiar journey from the games play out on the big screen, and it's actually pretty decent. Like, the visuals in this film look pretty good. Like, they look solid. I mean, it's 2018, it's big budget. It's, of course, going to look pretty up to snuff for the era. But I was actually pretty surprised with just how good this movie looked at points. Like I said, I don't remember seeing it in theaters. I evidently did, based on the voice meter I made at the time. But this felt like a brand new experience, and it reminded me very much of playing the reboot game for the first time, which I did have a good time with. You see a lot of familiar set pieces, you see a lot of things play out similarly to the game, but it does have its own spin on things that I didn't love. So it does change certain things. But some of the things that it keeps one-to-one, I thought really hit. But anyway, she teams up with Captain Lou. They go to the island. Lou's dad was also on the island. They teamed up together. Laura's dad teamed up with Lou's dad. They got to the island. Lou's dad, unfortunately, was killed on the island. Laura's dad was still found alive, fucking crawling around on all fours, you know, like an absolute feral creature. And he doesn't believe that's the real Laura there. But then, of course, realizes, no, that's actually his daughter. I've already mentioned quite a few things here that weren't present in the game, but are in the movie. And like I said, some of these I don't think works. Like, for example, the father who hasn't seen his daughter for 7 years immediately starts shitting on her when he realizes that she's there and she didn't burn his papers. Like, he's not mad about her presence, per se, but he's like, well, at least you burned my papers before coming, right? You burned them before coming, right? And she's like, well, no, how the fuck do you think I got here? And he's like, you didn't burn my papers! Damn you, Laura! And it, like, immediately pushes her away when he was so happy to see her and he, like, loved his daughter so much. Immediately pushes her away. So she leaves. He doesn't even care. He lets her go, basically, after not seeing her for 7 years. So, like, there are definitely some things here that weren't present in the game, at least not that I remember, but there are some that are. Like the plane scene, which I do think the plane scene is pretty close to how it was in the game, and it's still pretty hyped to see here, just like it was in 2013 in the game. There's also, like, the kill where she has on the guy, like, pushing him into, like, the puddle, where it's, like, a really grueling task to kill this one guy. It wasn't just, like, she popped him, instantly died, or, like, KO'd him with, like, a judo chop or something. It was, like, a really intense back-and-forth life-or-death fight that ultimately ended with her victorious and her taking someone's life, and she has to come to terms with that. Like, there are some really good moments here that are recognizable from the game, but when it does try to do its own thing, I do think it stumbles quite a bit. Anyway, though, I'll just go ahead and fast forward here a bit. Walt Goggins and Lara, they meet and they exchange some words back and forth. Eventually, they, per usual, the bad guy and Lara team up. So now they are teaming up going to Himiko's tomb. They are working together because if they don't, Walt Goggins is just going to kill her dad and she doesn't want that. So they're going to the tomb. They're going to Himiko's tomb. There's like some booby traps along the way. The booby traps are kind of cool. I always appreciate some good Indiana Jones level booby traps. I will say, some of them are really lackluster. So one dude steps on a booby-trapped tile where a spike impales him, and Richard farts out a super stinker of a line that I think makes no sense. He says, "That wasn't designed to keep people out. It was designed to keep something in." Brother, how would you be able to deduce that? A spike just shot straight up through the floor from a single tile. It wasn't like an elaborate trap or anything. It feels like it was almost an accident that it was there. It feels like it was a miracle he stepped on that specific tile, actually. And why the fuck would that... How would one single spike be evidence that it was designed to keep something in? It would do a horrible job at keeping something in. Also a horrible job of keeping something out. It's just a bad trap. Like, you're just wrong. You're just straight up wrong. Now, the next series of traps is pretty good, though, with, like, the falling floor and stuff. Like, I appreciate the traps. Eventually, they get to Himiko's tomb, and they learn, when they open the tomb, that Himiko wasn't exactly the evil being that she was portrayed as in Legends. She wasn't even a paranormal being or anything that could kill people with a touch. She was a carrier of a disease, and they put her in this tomb to lock the disease in there with her, a very potent disease, which again, you don't want this evil organization to get their hands on. So they learn this, and then Walt Goggins takes a finger of hers so that way they can analyze and synthesize the disease to weaponize it, because it turns out she wasn't magic, and they need to make sure that this disease doesn't get out. But the disease, what it does is it, like, melts people's flesh and turns them into zombies. It makes zombies. like, you know, and you get a little zombie fight. Unfortunately, Richard Croft, he catches a bad deal and he gets injured, and Walt Goggins is running away. There's an emotional reunion between Richard and Lara. They share some final goodbyes, and it's very, very profound stuff. And then Richard blows himself up, destroying Himiko's body and the disease there, sealing it all in the cave. And Lara and Walt fight each other. And Lara wins. That's how it wraps up. But there is sequel bait where it turns out the Guardian that saved her earlier when she got, like, arrested, she is working with that ancient order as well. She was actually, like, the leader of it, it seems. Don't know if we're ever going to see that sequel. It's been quite a while, but that was the film in a nutshell. Like I said, it wasn't a bad movie or anything. I actually did enjoy it, and it was nice to kind of get a refresher of the reboot game that I remembered enjoying. Like, it was cool to see it. I didn't hate it. It definitely had some things I didn't like about it, and I do think it's probably my least favorite. Well, no, not my least favorite. Cradle of Light, I think, is definitely worse. But I don't like it as much as the 2001 movie. I would say it's second place out of 3 here. Not bad. Didn't hate it. I actually really did enjoy watching all 3 of these movies again, though. Like, it was kind of fun to revisit these. They are fun action-adventure films. Anyway, the 4th film I watched is the Assassin's Creed movie. That one I don't think I'm going to yap about in this video. That one I might actually make a standalone for, because that movie's just fucking insultingly bad. I hated pretty much every moment of that one. In a franchise I already don't like, a movie somehow was even worse than I was expecting it to be. It was nuts. Anyway, that's about it for now. See ya. A Reddit moderator just made a video directly speaking to and tugging on the heartstrings of the CEO of Reddit. He's making a big call to action after he had been stripped of his position as top mod on r/livestream fail. I'm kind of at a loss for words here. I can't believe what I just watched was genuine and not a skit. But this seems authentic. What you picture in your head when you hear the term Reddit mod is exactly what you are about to see unfold in the flesh. The reason this mod just lost his position is because he was promoting a scam on the subreddit that he was the top mod for, Livestream Fail. I made 2 videos covering this. It was the $1 Million Fan Show, which was paraded around as a $20 million reality television show for streamers' fans to sign up, and even paid entry into it to compete for, $20 million prize purse. Turns out the whole thing was a load of baloney. As it appears, everything has been wiped off the face of the planet. So some viewers paid money for actually nothing. They flushed it down the shitter, and agencies that brought this to streamers were left embarrassed. Most notably, Mythic Talent was the one that was named by some of the streamers as their agency that took them this deal, where seemingly no due diligence was done on behalf of Mythic to confirm whether or not this was even legitimate in the first place as a paid promotion. It was supposed to be an Amazon production, but clearly it was not an Amazon production, and it took 2 seconds of going to the website to deduce that this was fraudulent, but they took this deal before the website even existed. It's a whole mess. I've already covered all this, but Livestream Fail gets roped in because there was this inexplicable partnership that no one fully understood, where $1 Million Fan was in bed with Livestream Fail, and the top mod of Livestream Fail made a post on the subreddit pinning it to try and get more suckers into it. And now this is his response after being fundamentally fired from his free position of Reddit janitor.
Hello, Spez, Mr. CEO of Reddit. I hope you have received this public video that I have created and sent to you via your email. If not, I hope anybody who cares about the topic in this video can get this to him in any way that you can. This video is about a topic of deadly seriousness, and that is of Reddit moderation and the state of your platform.
Oh my god. This is Reddit's Manhattan Project right now. The moderators are rising up against the CEO of Reddit. I'm actually at a loss for words. This couldn't be a more lame start to this video. The topic he's about to cover is how he believes Reddit mods don't have enough, elbow grease from the Reddit upper echelon, like Spez here, the CEO. He believes they should be entitled to, like, brand deals, talent managers, lawyers, and stuff, so that way they can better be utilized as Reddit moderators. I'm not even kidding, by the way. I'm not exaggerating. Like, these are points he was making in this video, and that's what he's talking about with deadly seriousness here. He talks about Reddit moderators like they're fucking G.I. Joe commandos. Man, please come back to reality. Like, I don't want anyone to harass this guy, so I'm not going to be, like, showing you his channel or anything like that, because, honestly, I kind of feel bad for him that he's put so much weight on his personal life into this position, which is just a thankless job. And it's not really a job, at least it should never be considered a job, because all he is doing is moderating a fucking subreddit as a volunteer janitor. I really thought this was a skit, and I'm still, a small part of me, on the copium here, is hoping that this is, like, satirical and not real, but I don't know, it feels genuine.
I was the top moderator of your #1 gaming subreddit, r/livestreamfail, before I was recently removed from that position by the Reddit Code of Conduct team. I became a Reddit moderator for one reason, and that is because I think that Reddit communities and correspondingly its moderators have massive power and influence, and for some reason, nobody seems to notice, care, or take this seriously. Least of all, its moderators or the company.
That's not really a good look to say the sole reason you pursued this path of heroism as a Reddit moderator is because you believed that it held so much power. So you're basically just saying that you were power hungry and wanted to take this spot so that way you could feel powerful. He believes that Reddit communities and specifically Reddit moderators hold a strong level of sway and power, and that's why he became one himself. That, I don't think, is a good look, man. It's not even coming from, like, a place of passion or something for communities. He is literally saying he did it because he wanted to be strong. Come on! I understand that Reddit communities, like Reddit as a whole, is a platform that does hold like legitimate influence over like conversations and topics and stuff like that. So by extension, moderators have a lot of ability to control narratives by hiding things or boosting things, and that is something that I've talked about in the past, and a lot of people have made mentions of many times. It's been a pretty big yapping point for a while. This is the quintessential Reddit mod mentality. You know the stereotype that exists of power-tripping Reddit mods? He is, in the first minute of this video, confirming that is exactly what drives him, is power. Like this small modicum of power that he was bestowed for the livestream fail subreddit. And it's... the level of self-importance is sickening.
In this video, I will go over why I believe this, and I will also talk about a code of conduct moderation action that was taken against me due to good faith mistakes that I believe were caused by a clear lack of direct material support that the company gives its moderators. I will end the video by talking about what you, Spez, can do to fix this problem, as well as what I and other communities can do in case Reddit does not solve this very serious mismanagement problem regarding the lack of support that is given to moderators.
So here's the spoiler alert. He is going to be playing a sad song on the world's smallest violin about how he's been removed now as top mod of Livestream Fail because he was promoting a scam through that subreddit, which did ultimately result in people losing money. There were actual victims of this scam, so he has been removed of his position at the top of the food chain on Livestream Fail, and he is now putting a decent chunk of that blame on Reddit itself for not giving him the tools to avoid this from happening. Like at a certain point, there's like a brief moment of self-awareness, like this lightning bolt of self-awareness where he's like, yeah, it was a little fishy. But then he like immediately pushes it onto Reddit like, but if Reddit had given me access to brand deals and lawyers, this probably wouldn't have happened. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're a Reddit mod. Why would Reddit be giving you access to lawyers and brand deals and shit? That doesn't make sense.
First, I will go over the code of conduct action and why I was removed as the top moderator of r/livestreamfail. This sounds like stupid internet drama, I know, but I'm going to talk about how this is a very clear example about how Reddit's mistakes causes very serious problems to Reddit's community and the company as a whole.
It was your mistake, buddy. Fucking Spez wasn't behind you massaging your shoulders as you signed the deal with $1 Million Fan Show, which turned out to be a scam. He wasn't like the Sith Lord projecting into you, trying to convince you to go to the dark side to, sell out Livestream Fail to get more people hooked on $1 Million Fan Show. It was not the CEO of Reddit that forced you to do that, and even if you did have access to lawyers and other brand deals, it wouldn't have prevented something like this from happening. You made the choice.
Here's what happened. There was an announcement related to a live stream related game show called $1 Million Fan. I heard about the game show a few hours after it got announced by a couple major live streamers. It sounded like the perfect type of content for a live stream fail. I mean, reality TV, game show, live streaming, gaming, that's perfect for LSF, which is about fun, crazy content about kind of live streaming gamers.
If that isn't the stinkiest load of horseradish I've ever heard with that description of LSF. Do you go on your own subreddit? Have you ever been on your own subreddit? That's not what it is. That's not what you just described at all. That is the most blatant misrepresentation of that subreddit I've ever heard anyone try to squeak out. If this was Pinocchio, his nose would have just went fucking Wumbo Insano style with that lie right there. Anyone who has ever visited LSF in the last 7 years will tell you it is not a subreddit for crazy, wacky clips of gaming and, stream fails or anything like that. I don't know why he's even trying that angle. Everyone knows that's not what that subreddit is.
So when I heard about this, I was very excited. I immediately reached out to the organizers to see if we could set up some sort of a collaboration. This collaboration would just be to get cool content on the subreddit. No, financial incentives, no moderators being paid, basically none of anything like that, just fun, cool stuff for the community in the subreddit. For collaborations, the first obvious thing that came to mind was, how do we get their content on the subreddit? Either some superfans or some editors could clip some cool hype moment from the show and then post it to the subreddit.
What? That's what happens already organically on every other stream. Why would this, a potential $20 million reality TV show, be any different? Obviously, things would already be being clipped and posted on the LSF subreddit. Why would you be reaching out about a collaboration to ensure that happens when you know for a fact it already would if this fucking show ever actually existed in the first place? That doesn't make any sense to me at all. Like, trying to be extremely charitable here, maybe he was under the impression that this would be exclusive to Amazon Prime, thus they wouldn't have the rights to post it on LSF. But on the flip side of that coin, he said he heard about this from streamers, thus he would have known that it was going to be streamed on Twitch in the first place, thus it would still be clippable for LSF. That's just business as usual. I don't know why he would reach out about a collaboration to do what was already no doubt going to be done already. It just, that doesn't pass the smell test. I don't understand.
But I also had a stretch goal, and that was, what if LSF could be part of the show in some way? I don't know, there could be like a LSF-themed best clip contest. Like, contestants compete in one of the kind of small challenges, they make the best clip, and then somebody kind of wins a prize at the end. It was a stretch goal, though.
Why, though? LSF Best Clip is just the best clip from the event. Why does LSF's name need to be attached to it? This guy is treating Livestream Fail like it's his personal brand. Like, this is his baby, this is his product. So all the clips that hit LSF are actually Top Mods clips as well. I just don't even get this stretch goal here. I think he just wanted LSF's name out there more because it gives him more power in some capacity, because this is totally useless. Again, whatever would win best clip would just be someone else's content. There doesn't necessitate a live stream fails shout out there for some reason. Like, even if they were the ones that were like hosting votes on what the best clip is, who gives a fuck? That could have been anything and any one where people, like the actual communities, would vote on it, not just his subreddit. Anyway, though, he goes on to explain that they accepted this proposal. He was super hype about it because it meant this was a big moment for the subreddit, and he even made a mention that he believed he could turn this into even more opportunities for the subreddit going further, snowballing it into even more LSF prominence.
So we quickly worked to make an announcement together, and I posted it the next day. When I posted it, everybody in the comment section immediately yelled, scam, 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 scam. I mean, think about it. Amazon Prime has spent lots of money on tons of shows. And, I didn't necessarily think that the show was worth $20 million, but, that doesn't mean that Amazon Prime wouldn't fund it. And, if LSF was involved, maybe it would actually succeed. Maybe my involvement alone could make the $20 million kind of investment worth it. Who knows? At least that's what I thought.
It sounds like you weren't thinking at all, though. Why would Amazon be spending $20 million on like 8 streamers and their fans on Twitch and only a $5 million grand prize for Mr. fucking Beast? What sense does that make, man? That isn't really checking out either. Also, he's making kind of like a joke about, maybe my involvement alone would make it worth the investment. But that's how he actually feels, by the way. Like, that's his tone throughout this whole video. He truly believes that he is like God's gift to streaming because he was the top mod of Livestream Fail. Like, it is a very, like, scary mentality to have, and I do genuinely feel bad for him that he has, like, poisoned his own brain to this level, deluded himself into thinking that him being a top mod on a subreddit was, like, something of significance and, like, something of, like, grand importance.
I'm a highly paid software engineer working in San Francisco. I do not need to take a couple $1,000 bribes from, random internet scams, okay? I was doing this because I legitimately, care about the subreddit, and that's why I spend my time on it.
So he debunks rumors that he was paid to promote $1 Million Show from the organizers, saying that he doesn't need to be taking bribes, he's financially well off. He then goes on to say that he was addressing like some of the deleted comments because that was a specific mention in why Reddit canned him, because it potentially showed malice because he was involved in this promotion that ended up being a scam. And so he wanted to address like the deleted comments. He then has a section dedicated to me where I talked about the scam, and then the organizers were talking to him like, well, since Charlie talked about the scam, 5 streamers dropped out, so we're, no longer doing this anymore. Pack your bags, take down the post. And then he says I didn't do enough research on it because I didn't reach out to him or the organizers.
But beyond that, it doesn't seem like he did much research. I don't think that he reached out to any of the organizers. He certainly didn't reach out to me. And I mean, I don't know if he reached out to Mythic Talent or any of the streamers. And that important point is that nothing in this situation has yet to be definitively proven as a scam. I repeat, there is no definitive, at least public information yet, that anything fraudulent, malicious, or illegal has happened in the situation.
Brother, your level of research was cold calling the organization dick in hand, begging to be associated with them, and then that was the extent of it, because apparently you heard one of the streamers promote it. And yet he's going to be causing a hubbub because I didn't reach out to him for his perspective. Brother, I didn't even really talk about you in my video, just that you were associated with this shit, roped into the same scam that they were. And for what it's worth, if you watch the video, you would know I did get in contact with 2 agencies, one of which got the exact same contracts that Mythic did, and got information on that, as well as getting one of the actual offers that Mythic was taking to the streamers. So I was very well familiarized with everything that was unfolding behind the scenes. And again, it doesn't take a super sleuth to go to their website and see that it's just fucking barnacles, man. One of their partners didn't even exist. There was no website and no business. Their about section was AI generated mumbo jumbo. Every single paragraph ended in triplets and also had the telltale sign of it's not this, it's this, over and over and over again. Their first image on their site was literally an AI generated mansion, and he mentions that in this video, but then goes on to say shamelessly that there's no definitive proof that this was ever a scam in the first place. That's a wild statement. Why don't you ask the people who spent money on this how they feel? Do they feel like they got their money's worth? Did they get the product they paid for? I imagine not, because this event is not even potentially in the cards and doesn't seem like it ever was to begin with, man. Their socials are removed. The website is down. Amazon hasn't made a peep about it. From what I've heard, the agencies are pissed about this. All signs point to this being a scam. Like, any sane, sensible person would look at all of this evidence and reach the same conclusion that this was horseradish. I don't know why he's trying to present something otherwise now.
The only confirmed things that we have right now is that I guess there was a website, looked a little weird, there was some bad publicity, everybody called it a scam, and then a bunch of streamers dropped out, and then the event got canceled, and everybody got refunded. None of this is illegal. None of this is proved to be a scam, at least yet. Maybe I'll eat these words.
Brother, you're eating your own cock right now. What are you talking about? And then everyone clapped. Like, this is just fanfic. Where are you getting this information? There was an explicit no refund policy on their website baked into it. It was very boldly stated there are no refunds once you make these purchases. Who got a refund? I haven't seen anyone, posting receipts of getting a refund from the money they spent on this. Where are you getting that information from? That's a genuine question. Maybe he's seeing things that I'm not seeing somewhere. Because I even looked into it after he made this video, wondering like, whoa, they refunded? That's pretty surprising. I can't find any proof of that. I would love to see where he found that.
It's really not a secret or very surprising. I got removed directly for the post that I pinned to the top of the subreddit related to the game show or supposed and alleged scam, as well as kind of for deleting comments that were kind of critical of it. I also want to make a comment about kind of the Reddit Code of Conduct team as a whole. Reddit has all this flowery language about how kind of the Code of Conduct team is not here to punish you. It's kind of here to get you to act in good faith. It's here to kind of give you second chances and warnings and all of this stuff. And apparently all of that are lies.
No, man, this feels like the perfect implementation of that protocol. You pinned what seems to be, from all possible evidence, a scam. I don't know why he is trying so desperately to persuade to the contrary. Maybe it's because he believes that if he can try and prove that he really believes that it's not fraudulent, he can get his position back as top mod of LSF. I don't know. Or maybe getting really conspiratorial, maybe he worked with the organizers in a deeper capacity than he's letting on. But that's just a possible game theory. It's just extremely peculiar how hard he is fighting to try and convince himself and others that maybe this wasn't a scam, when all available evidence points towards this being fraudulent. And if this video is him trying to make a case for himself why he should be reinstated and get that power coursing through his veins again as a moderator on Reddit, then this is a terrible job. Because what he is doing now is showing that he is willing to even defend what seems to be, by all possible accounts, a scam that he was directly associated with, maybe unknowingly, and now he is doubling down on it. That is a terrible look, and that makes you look like an unhinged moderator who, even when proven to be incorrect, will not see that, will not take the accountability there. And now he's getting mad at the Code of Conduct team for enforcing their rules. He deleted comments that were critical of his decision to promote this sketchy game show, and promoted a sketchy game show that resulted in people spending money on something that didn't exist, doesn't exist. So I feel like it's a pretty justified termination of his moderator status.
Now, here's the most important part of the video, Spez. This is a direct message to you and only you. I want to talk about how this whole situation is a direct result of the lack of support that Reddit, the company, gives to its moderators. Yeah, I did the partnership. Yeah, I didn't look into this as much as I should, and I trusted kind of agencies and live streamers when I should not have. And I did delete comments, which I thought would have been borderline defamatory if the situation wasn't, I guess, a scam, even though it technically hasn't been proven to be a scam yet. But despite all of that, there is still massive kind of like problems at Reddit, the company, due to the lack of support that caused this.
Now, this message may have been only for Spez, but I've intercepted the broadcast here. Now, I've put my ear into it, and I'm taking a listen, and what I'm hearing is fucking wild. He almost gets into a level of accountability where he's like, yeah, I did the partnership. Yeah, I didn't look into it. I didn't do any research on it. And then he immediately falls back into, but it hasn't really been fully proven to be a scam. And also, it's actually, in a large part, Reddit's fault that this happened in the first place because I wasn't given enough tools at my disposal to avoid making stupid decisions.
Reddit moderators have power. They have influence. If you are one of the people who is joking about, like, internet janitor duties or whatever, I'm sorry to tell you, it's funny jokes, but you are wrong. Reddit moderation does matter. Reddit moderators have control over millions of impressions per day, and nobody seems to notice or care. Let's just talk about LSF. Think of all the streamer careers that have been created because of LSF. Think about the even larger number of streamer careers that have been destroyed because of LSF, because some clip went viral about, like, something bad that they did.
He made you, and he can tear you down as well. This is top mod LSF. It giveth and it taketh. And he also said doodities, which actually had me giggling. I don't know why he said doodities, but that was fucking hype. Anyway, this is now his spiel about why Reddit moderators are extremely powerful dragon level, adversaries and should be taken seriously, and no one seems to notice. It's not that nobody notices, it's that nobody's happy about it. There shouldn't be people like this that can just power trip and control a conversation and control what people are able to opine on or not, like with deleted comments or deleted posts and stuff like that, where they can hide certain things or boost certain things. That's a bad thing. Everyone knows that it exists, and everyone knows that there is actual power in that. I don't think anyone actually disputes that.
I have had major live streamers who are effectively celebrities come to me and beg to kind of remove, negative posts about them. An even crazier story is the time when some Twitch employees found me in person and borderline begged me to make sure LSF is not used to destroy the multi-billion-dollar company Twitch, partially because at the time, LSF was indeed being used to destroy the multi-billion-dollar company Twitch. Deservedly so, by the way.
That's right, you better bow down. Every Twitch employee, when he walked through the door at TwitchCon, got on their hands and knees, instantly groveling at his feet, begging, pleading with him to stop the attack on Twitch, the multi-billion-dollar organization. Dan Clancy came in and sucked his wiener, I heard, in order to try and appease him so that he would stop using LSF to destroy the multi-billion-dollar corporation that is Twitch. Like, come on, man. Like, look at how you're talking about this. This is exactly why you shouldn't have a position as a top moderator of a subreddit. Like this, you are demonstrating the caricature of a Reddit moderator right now.
Or even just take this literal circumstance. Imagine the whole kind of operation was legit. Well, guess what? One single post on LSF caused all of the streamers to drop out and destroyed a $20 million opportunity. Sorry, Mythic. My bad. Or imagine it was, a scam through and through. Well, guess what? We were the ones to expose it and destroy it before it had the chance to cause any real harm. I mean, everybody got refunded after all. Guess things ended up okay.
Why do you keep saying that? Where are you finding that information about everyone getting refunded? Are the organizers telling you that? I really don't know where you're seeing that. But again, man, yes, it is a big subreddit, which means things like this information about a $20 million potential scam will have naturally blossomed there. As it would anywhere else on like a big Twitter community or a different subreddit. LSF just happens to be the biggest one. It has nothing to do with you. This is just natural when there is a big community. This would happen on another platform or another subreddit. It is not your achievement for creating the LSF ecosystem that shares clips about a potential scam. And in fact, you could even make an argument that you have actually been a hindrance in some cases in the past with certain things that weren't allowed to blossom there. I don't even understand the point he's making. People know that big subreddits or big Twitter communities or whatever do have a lot of influence. But that happens with or without this guy as the top moderator of the subreddit. That is just the result of a ton of people all in a similar space, in a similar vertical, that are sharing things back and forth. His point is one that everybody knows.
I was one of your most passionate users. I was in the Reddit partnership program from the start. I took advantage of every opportunity that I could. I had meetings with kind of the Reddit community managers. I begged them for help and kind of partnership opportunities at every chance that I could. And I was blown off every single time.
You already said at the beginning of the video that the sole reason you pursued this moderator status is because of the power that it afforded. I don't know why he's now trying to say that he's just so passionate. And even in this section here, he's talking about how he was trying to utilize every possible advantage to get brand deals and stuff, man. That's self-enrichment through this position. This doesn't really seem like it's coming from a place of a guy who's trying to better communities or improve subreddits or make things better for others. This feels like you were chasing power and trying to use it to continue to climb that Reddit ladder, whatever that may be.
I was one of the only moderators out there who tried to grow my community, who had any ambition, who tried to work with the company or help other subreddits or help the company that a whole, and it didn't matter. I failed, and it failed because of how mismanaged and how little support Reddit, the company, gives to moderators. None of this would have happened if I had gotten support from Reddit. Do you think that I want to be the guy, going out, messaging random people in Discords and LinkedIn's and trying to figure out kind of these partnerships? I don't.
Then don't fucking do it, buddy! Chalamet! I'm gonna drop an Adam Sandler impression on you here. You are a moderator in a subreddit. Why are you chasing down brand partnerships and collaborations, buddy? The whole point of subreddits is just for a community to come together and talk about certain things, share certain things. And your job as a moderator, and I use job very loosey-goosey because it should never be misconstrued as a job. It's supposed to be filled by very passionate fans of similar mind in the same space that would then just enforce certain rules about making sure someone doesn't get doxxed or something sensitive being shared like that. That is supposed to be all it is. Why are you trying to even find partnerships and deals like that? That doesn't seem, in my eyes, to ever benefit the community. It only feels like it would benefit the mods that are chasing it down. You like to use examples, so I'll use one for you. Let's say you chased down this partnership with $1 Million Fan Show, and it wasn't going super well, and the organizers and you like to exchange back and forth, and they're like, look, we really need a favor here. Can you only post some of the positive stuff from $1 Million Fan Show and get rid of the pesky, maybe clips that are negative about it? That would really help us. And let's say you object to that and they're like, okay, well then we're not going to work with you in an official capacity anymore if you don't do this. You see the conflict that this creates? It leads to, I can't believe I'm going to use this word when talking about fucking subreddits and mods, but it leads to very blatant corruption, where you are now in bed with some of these organizations or someone that could benefit from you gamifying your subreddit to cater it more towards them. maybe it wasn't financial in this case, maybe you weren't paid for it, but extend this thought process to another type of subreddit where maybe there is someone paying for it. Like, let's say I'm a music artist and I want to be featured on like the hard rock subreddit, and I want to make sure my single gets out there. So I reach out to a mod and like, hey, look, I'll pay you some money if you can try and like boost this up a little bit. And this is something that I've read reports of happening in the past, and I think you would agree that that's a problem, right? Now imagine if those mods are also chasing down other artists like, hey, I see your Spotify streams are a little low. If you toss us a little money here, we can use our subreddit and the influence of it to try and boost it up a little bit higher. That's not a good thing.
If Reddit had offered me partnerships, if Reddit had pipelines to connect with kind of major companies, if Reddit had lawyers that were helping me, like reading over these contracts, reading over these agreements, none of these very real mistakes that I made would have happened. Reddit needs to be professionalized, and it starts with the mods. This is going to be controversial, but the people who are running your multi-billion-dollar website are unqualified nobodies like me. That doesn't mean it's my fault or their fault. It's your fault, Spez.
Damn, what a mic drop. Brother, there are no qualifications to be a Reddit mod. That is a position that the community is supposed to, like, decide upon, like, hey, here's our rules, and here's who we would like to enforce them, and that's it. It should never be this deep. I just don't understand why he can't grasp, and maybe he can, and he's just pretending not to, the concept that if you have mods that are financially incentivized to work with brands in collaboration with them to use the community for their collaborators' purpose, you now have a very disingenuous subreddit that is very easily influenced based on who is paying for it. That should be a very clear conflict, a very obvious issue. It should be pretty obvious why Reddit wouldn't want to invest in a suite of resources like lawyers and brand ambassadors for Reddit mods to look over contracts and shit for Reddit mods securing deals to sell out their subreddit. That's not a good thing.
That means access to anything that like a talent manager would give an actual celebrity. So an access to a bounty board or ad deals or lawyers or event organizers or professionals or anything that actually matters.
To you, personally, actually matters to just you. The guy who is benefiting from the ad deals and brand partnerships and shit. That does nothing for the community you are supposed to be moderating for, brother. What are you not understanding there? Like, he is only arguing to help himself under the guise of it being to grow his subreddit. It only grows you, man.
To summarize, Reddit moderators should be treated like celebrities or influencers, not because they deserve respect or anything, but because they actually have real power and influence. I mean, if not for the world, at least over your $50 billion company, maybe if you gave them actual support, it could go from 50 billion to 100 billion. I mean, it certainly deserves to be that high up for how much traffic Reddit gets.
Yes, a high-level financial growth strategy here. The way to double your company is by spending resources to connect your subreddit moderators with talent managers that will chase down brand deals for them. So that way they can feel like a celebrity and I guess cash in on their mod status. Yeah, I'm really seeing the line now. The pieces of the puzzle are coming together nicely. I get it.
True to the community, Spez and Reddit, they're almost certainly not going to fix any of this. All of this is up to us to solve.
He then tries to address the community about like this problem, and I really don't even understand the problem he's trying to portray here, because all he keeps hammering home is that he is a top moderator, wasn't given enough resources like lawyers, and he wasn't treated like a celebrity enough, and he didn't have the ability to chase down brand deals, which led to him making a poor decision here with the $1 million fan show. How is that a problem that the community, like, would rally behind? Man, you just shouldn't have done it in the first place. Reddit shouldn't be a platform where mods are selling out big communities for the sake of brand deals. I don't see a whole lot of community support coming for that kind of message. He keeps presenting it as a problem, but actually I think this video demonstrates exactly why Reddit made the right call removing him from his position. Like, I don't know how he's not seeing that.
to solve all of the problems that I have laid out. We will create tools and resources so good, so useful that everybody will have to work with us. Think talent agency, but for subreddits. You have the big ideas, you have the vision, you have the crazy cool things that you want to do, and we handle the logistics. Materially, that means connections to major companies, partnerships, doing AMAs, running events, doing mod recruitment, cross-collaboration with other relevant subreddits, that kind of stuff.
He then pitches his new thing here, which a talent agency for subreddit mods, I guess. I don't want to get into it. I've been yapping about this for so long. It's just, this video blew my mind that he would actually post something like this. Again, I do actually feel bad for him because this is clearly a position that meant a lot to him, and I'm wishing him the best going forward now without his, sheriff badge of LSF. But I do not think a talent agency for mods is the right path. But, I'm not his dad. He can do what he wants. It's just, this was a mind-boggling adventure watching this one. Anyway, that's really about it. See ya. What's up, everybody? It's Critical. I'm playing Zoo Tycoon 2 demo because my computer's too much of a shithole to play the feature-length adventure. So I'm settling for the trial version. Let's do this shit. Fucking Atlas is sleeping on the job. I'm just spinning the world around. Now, I haven't played this in a long-ass time, but I think I still know the controls. My zoo's only half a star? What the fuck? And why the fuck is Bear Grylls dressed as a zookeeper? And I can see why this is only half a star now. The pressing problem here, and by pressing problem, I mean it's pressing moldy ass cheeks in my face. The name was Grassland Zoo. Sounds like a fucking carpet producing factory. No one wants to go there. You need a name that catches people's attention, makes them want to go there, makes them feel welcome. What is this, a little piece of the desert? Oh shit, there's already some animals here having a grand old time. Some gazelles. What is this, arrow? Put up for adoption. Release animal. What does that do? Oh fuck, what is this? Burger King. This is November, India. Papa, Lima, Echo, Sierra. Don't really know how to put this, but the gazelle has been apprehended by foreign spies. I'm in pursuit. I'm right on them. Shit, they enabled cloaking. Burger King. The gazelle has been successfully abducted. So this is how the world ends. Wait, is this asshole entering my park? I think, yeah. What is this? Favorite animal? Tiger. Alright. He wants to see some animals. Alright, here you go. Let's get you right in the action. There was another gazelle here, but fucking sleeper agents took him away from us. 2 should be more than enough to wet your whistle. You're walking away from the animals, but that's alright. I'll bring the favorite animal right to your doorstep. Here you go. Tiger. Enjoy that. We've got quite a few customers now. Nothing says quality zookeeping like a good old-fashioned peafowl mauling. I'm gonna trap these people in a barrier of peafowls. Let the massacre begin. Good luck surviving this onslaught, humans. There's no escaping it. But I don't want my zoo to be shut down. I need a scapegoat. The educator, I'm gonna make him take the blame for releasing the vicious peafowls on general population. That fucking menace. I was watching the Weather Channel. They said, beware of a flash flood. Ah, fuck. I killed like 4 peafowls, but not a single human casualty. Time to change that. You there, give me those titties. You're going in the water. Hope you can swim. Can't put her in the water. I'll put her on the land, and then extreme evaporation. I'll just create water under her. No, you get away from the land. Your ass cheeks can only float for so long. Fucking awesome. She's an Olympic caliber swimmer. I'm just gonna put your ass right back in the water. Or bring the water to you, since that's the way it seems to work. Here you go. You're not gonna get lucky twice. Fucking ocean now. I'm gonna create the mystery path. People are gonna take this one road and expect some huge payoff. But when they get to the end of it, all they're gonna get is this fucking tree. A standard tree. Run-of-the-mill tree. They're gonna take this long, excruciating path only to look at a tree. This place needs a shitter. I'm gonna install a shitter for a price. I'm not talking money. I don't want their fucking money. They can squeegee my wiener with their money. I'm talking about the price of admission being a fucking gauntlet before entering the shitter. Like an absolute challenge just to reach it. Put it on a mountain. Yeah, there we go. Let's add a few more obstacles here. Let's put some guardians in front of it. Good luck making it to the shitter if you've got to use it. I need to put up a sign or some shit to warn the pedestrians, so that way I don't get clobbered with a criminal charge when someone gets mutilated trying to make it to the shitter. Just a sign that reads, "Proceed with titties," so that way the FBI can't say I didn't try to save them. This is Wilson Weatherman reporting. We've received word of a spontaneous desert attack. Holy shit, it's a fucking catastrophic sandstorm. The poor people at Fisting Festival are certainly getting their money's worth today. Let's see what this bitch is up to. Hanny burned it. Okie dokie, you're angry. Oh, you think you're angry. Alright, well you've just earned yourself a one-way ticket to the dangerous playpen. Yeah. Yeah, this is your fault. Hanny burned it. Fucking a name from the Vulcan heritage. You brought this on yourself, Hanny. You should have just been enjoying the fine establishment you decided to pay to enter. No. But you fucking fuck that you happen to be fucking, turns out is just a bunch of tigers. I hope you've had time to really contemplate what you've done, Hanny. Now that there's around 40 tigers in there, I hope you make a few friends. Cause fuck knows you're not gonna be making any friends in this fucking zoo, cause you're a bitch. See, everyone looks to be having a ball. Let's go to first person mode and really get immersed in the zoo. People waving their arms in the air because they're happy. Some girl carrying around animal shit, maybe charcoal, I'm not sure. Let's go check on Hanny. Now this is just pathetic. The tigers won't even exert the energy required to consume Hanny. He's not even worth their time. I'm gonna put a few camels here to enforce order in this place. Some law-abiding camels. If any animal is going to enforce rules and regulations, it's gonna fucking be camels. Let's put a tree down over here. Shit! Shit! The camel is in the water! POTUS is taking a bath. The camel can swim. Alright, false alarm. Law enforcement officer is still on patrol. And having sex with peafowls in the water. What the fuck is that over there on the ground? Did one of the guests get annihilated? Shit, I think they did. Fuck. Just a peafowl. Keep it moving. I replenished it. We're alright. Here comes the zookeeper to clean it up. Zookeeper offers no fucking help. Can I sell this carcass as like a souvenir, or maybe turn it into a roller coaster? Wilson Weatherman here again. Bizarre weather we're having because there's a fucking blizzard! Oh shit! If this doesn't elicit piss from your nostrils, nothing will. Fucking incredible weather. Trying to leave my park? I don't think so. Welcome to the zoo's prison for people that try to leave. What the fuck? Did that person just disappear? What the fuck is going on? Did they build like an underground tunnel? Say cheese. Good picture. Nice smile, camels. Alright, well I'm done playing this. Well, that's the end of this video. Remember to rate the video, comment the video, and subscribe if you want to see videos similar to this one. See ya. I don't know how many of you are following the drama in the pizza industry, but for those of you that aren't, I'll give you a brief overview. Papa John's is a massive pizza chain that I'm sure the majority of you are familiar with. You've probably eaten some of their grease before. You may like it, you may not. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's, you know, that whole deal. Well, it has a founder named John Schnatter, and last year he made a multitude of mistakes. The biggest was saying the N-word on a conference call, which was then brought to the public's attention. Well, as a result of the racism, the Shat Master was taken off the board and annihilated online. In response, Schnatter says that he was pressured into using the N-word by the people on the call, which just sounds ridiculous because I can't imagine on a conference call for business they were poking John Schnatter in the ass saying, hey, be racist, be racist, be racist, until he was racist. Or like some type of hypnotist fucking puts him to sleep and makes him racist. It was a ridiculous defense that he came up with. But anyway, fast forward till today, he's been pretty quiet on most things that I was able to see. and then he comes and does a bizarre interview about where he is now and talking about the day of reckoning.
Sooner or later, the tape's going to come out in public, and people are going to go, wow, that's what he said. And so that's what he said. And they're going, they made this out of that. They know what they did. They know it was a setup.
John Schnatter looks like a Borderlands character. His fucking hair looks cel-shaded. He is the wettest human being I have ever seen. In every commercial, every interview, every picture, he just looks like he's sweating profusely. It's as if he's eaten so much pizza, his skin is starting to become the consistency of pizza, all greasy and shit. But anyway, his side of the story is he was set up by the people closest to him so that way they could take more of the company and take it away from him, which makes a lot more sense than his original defense of the aliens forced him to be racist. But even still, he has no proof behind this claims of setup, and he even says there that once the tape comes to light, you'll hear what he actually said. But he also confirmed that he said the N-word, so you're still going to hear the N-word. I don't know. He doesn't really have a solid defense.
When it finally gets out what they did and what was said, I think my phone's going to ring off the hook going, wow, we made a huge mistake here.
John, you naive boomer. It's 2019. No one says sorry for anything, and they for damn sure will not be admitting a mistake.
I've probably had over 40 pizzas, 40, in the last 30 days. They don't make the pizza the way that I used to make it, the way we used to make it. It just doesn't taste the same.
I want you to stop for a moment and just take in how absurd that statement is. That's like one of those SAT math problems that you know could never possibly exist. That's shit like, Sally has 10,000 apples and Julie wants half of those in her fridge. What do? Use the algorithmic Pythagorean theorem. It's absurd. 40 pizzas in 30 days. Let's assume he's going on the traditional American diet of 3 meals a day. That means that he was consuming roughly 3.5 pieces of pizza per meal every day for a full month. John, you either can't do math, you're lying, or you have the strongest fucking metabolism of all time. Because this man's heart should have just stopped halfway through this diet. This shit makes the Super Size Me documentary movie look like child's play. That is an absurd number, John. No fucking way you had 40 pizzas in 30 days. It's not possible. The human body wasn't built to handle that kind of magnitude. And especially not Papa John's pizzas. And if the recipe truly does taste different, it's probably because John isn't there. The secret ingredient is probably the moisture from his fucking hair just dripping into the fucking cauldron that they make the pizza in. It's crazy. I don't think he actually had that much pizza, but I could be totally wrong.
I would just say, stay tuned. The day of reckoning will come. The record will be straight.
Why not set the record straight now? I mean, what is it about the record that's not straight?
Stay tuned.
How soon will that happen?
Stay tuned. Sooner than later.
It's like a badly done Joker monologue. It comes across very weird. It sounds like he's calling himself the Antichrist even, you know, the Day of Reckoning and then this weird giggling stuff. I don't know. It's a very weird interview. Now, growing up, Papa John's was like the only pizza that I actually liked, and even to this day, it's still my favorite pizza. I'm not a huge fan of most pizzas. I can already hear the comment section going off. You never tried New York pizza, have you, Charlie? What the fuck? Yeah, you like Papa John's? That's ridiculous. Oh my God. I just don't like it. I've had a lot of New York pizza when I was in New York. I'm not a huge fan. You know, we have to accept people are going to like different things. I liked Papa John's. I still like Papa John's. It doesn't taste very different to me today. I don't know what John's tasting. Maybe when he eats it now, he tastes a little bit of hate in there. And that's totally understandable because if I got fired from my massive multi-million-dollar pizza chain, I would never want to eat that pizza again. Anytime I take a bite of that pizza, it tastes like asshole. So I get why he thinks it tastes different, but it really doesn't. It's probably exactly the same. But anyway, growing up, my dad used to tell me stories about John because John used to do business in the area my dad was in, and he was so confident in his pizza and really wanted it to succeed, he used to drive around in his car and pass out free boxes of pizza to everyone in my dad's area. So I always had a very positive impression of John just from the stories my dad used to tell about him. He was apparently a great guy around the area. And even in this interview, he talks about some of the community outreach shit he does. I don't know what the fuck has happened. His reputation has certainly been tainted. Maybe he is truly innocent, which seems unlikely in this case, but I guess you never really know. But man, he's made some big old fuck-ups, and that's for goddamn sure. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about this bizarre interview that he came out of nowhere to do. I'm excited to see the next developments in this pizza soap opera. That's it. See ya. There is a pretty big story that's unfolding in the NFL right now with a very famous reporter named Diana Russini, formerly of SportsCenter fame. Now she's with The Athletic. And she was seen getting real close and comfy with Mike Vrabel, the Patriots head coach, at a resort. There's quite a few pictures of them together, holding hands, hugging, lounging by the pool in the hot tub, just the two of them. And this is causing quite a stir because Mike Vrabel and Diana Russini are both married to other people. And the evidence provided here is causing a divide, with some claiming that this is clear evidence of cheating and others saying, no, this isn't scandalous. This is actually just normal business etiquette. She's just there trying to get the scoop, and this is just all above board professionalism. It's some spicy, messy shit here, and I really want to go over it, so I'm going to show you everything. Real quick, though, I want to make a mention of something that people keep bringing up on stream, so I'm just going to talk about it real quick in this video. There is a Spotify page called Penguinz0. There's also one for Moist Critical Gaming, and people have stumbled upon it, and a lot of people believe that this is some bad actor nefariously re-uploading all of my shit over there. I just want to make it clear, it's me. Well, actually, Aaron. Aaron was the one that's just been uploading on Spotify. Now it's another friend of ours that does it, but it is actually us doing that because there's no reason not to do that, especially because of that exploit I talked about a while ago, where there were some bad actors that would re-upload people's audio clips to Spotify in order to copyright claim their actual YouTube videos. So about a year ago, we tried to just get ahead of that when that was starting to pop off, and we just started uploading my full videos over there. So don't panic. It's no one doing anything sketchy. It's just us re-uploading all the content over there just for the sake of safety. And again, there's really no reason not to. So I guess also shouting out to Spotify here. If you have Spotify and prefer to watch or listen to things over there, videos are available there too. Anyway, let's now dive into the spaghetti and the meatballs here. Diana and Mike were spotted at a luxury hotel a couple weekends ago, and they spent quite a bit of time together. So here's a picture of them holding hands, and then here's them hugging on that same like rooftop area, looking out at the mountains and all of the beautiful green scenery out there. There's also photos of them in the hot tub together and by the pool together, and it's only ever just the two of them. It looks like your fantasy fairy tale vacation getaway. It honestly looks like they're on their honeymoon right now. And obviously this kind of was a big deal because they are both married to other people. And Diana in particular has been kind of vocal, dunking on her husband over the years. She actually got a bit of a reputation for clowning on him and seemingly like belittling him publicly in front of the whole world to kind of point and laugh at her husband.
To address this, it happened earlier in our program today. For those of you who weren't watching, Diana Russini said this.
And I think we all do weird things when we're in love, and we overshare and overpost. And look, he's getting married to a beautiful actress. I'm married to someone average. I don't post a lot about him. If I was married to someone beautiful, I'd overpost too.
Now, this doesn't seem nice. We have put together photos of Diana's husband here for everyone to see so you can make some amends on national television.
We're average together. And you know what the worst part is? He sent me a text during that segment, not watching because he actually works for a living. And he said, good luck today. Be great on Get Up. So the guy's got a heart of gold, and here I am on national TV killing him. Look, we're average together, but he makes me above average because he married me. So I am so sorry. I need to really stop killing my husband on television. I'm going to be divorced by Christmas.
That is heartbreaking to hear. Imagine you sending a text to the love of your life like, hey, good luck. I know you're going to kill it today. And then you come home and see that she's just like, yeah, I'm married to someone average. If it was someone beautiful, I'd overpost too. Bro, even just like picturing that's got me going into like a fugue state. Like I'm traveling through space and time. Like that is brutal. That is awful. And then you can see under the video there, that's just a screenshot someone had taken where, again, she just publicly clowns on her husband, where someone made a comment saying, you need a boyfriend, and she says, yeah, I tell that to my husband all the time. Ooh-wee, jeepers. Like that, I don't know how that just gets played off as like a joke. That's just a terrible thing to say about your life partner, your fucking supposed soulmate that you're married to just publicly being like, yeah, they're average, they're not beautiful or anything. If they were beautiful, I'd probably be posting a lot about them too, but I'm kind of ashamed, so, I throw them into the basement and try and just forget that they exist because they're not beautiful, they're just average. And then like, oh yeah, I really need a boyfriend. I keep telling my husband that, haha. That's fucked up, man. And I feel like if a guy went out there and said like, oh, my wife, she's a real battle axe. She's not really a looker, so I don't like to post about her. It would be perceived far different than Diana Rossini's clowning on her husband has been. I just don't know who hears that and thinks that it's like, ha ha ha, in good fun. I'm sure her husband also really appreciates when he gets insulted on live TV, and not even like playfully insulted, just called average at best. Your wife going out there on TV in front of the whole world, in front of God and anime, and just say like, yeah, my husband's not beautiful, so I don't like to post about him. That's extremely hurtful. Anyway, the point of me showing you this is that in light of these pictures and the story, which we're going to get a little more into the story, it feels believable that she would be unfaithful to her husband because she's made a habit out of publicly belittling him, insulting him, and just point blank saying that she doesn't find him beautiful. It's not like she ever like went back on that. Like, no, actually my husband is beautiful. She's like, no, look, he's average, but I'm average too. We're average together. We're both average in this together. But if he was beautiful, I'd be posting about him a lot. So like, it's all good. Like, it's all fine. Now, in light of this story blowing up, there has been a statement from the Athletic executive editor Steven Ginsberg saying that the photos are misleading and lack essential context. These were public interactions in front of many people. Diana is a premier journalist covering the NFL, and we're proud to have her at the Athletic. Rossini said in her own statement that many reporters in her field interact with sources outside of stadium and work venues, and the photos don't represent the group of 6 people who were hanging out during the day. So basically they're claiming that there were more people there and this is all just professional. This is something normal that, people in her field interact with sources outside of the stadium, which is very true. That does happen a lot. Sometimes you'll even see them like go hang out at a bar or go out to dinner or something. And that is professional. It's also very different than going to a luxury hotel and holding hands with your source, hugging your source, that kind of thing. That's very different, and they're claiming that there was a group of 6 people with them, but none of the alleged eyewitnesses corroborate that theory, that game theory. According to 3 other eyewitnesses, they told Page 6 that they didn't see Vrabel or Rossini with a group of friends or anything. They said, no, he was with a girl. And the sequence of photographs taken at various points during the day show only the 2 of them. Now, according to a source close to Diana, she was staying at the hotel during a hiking trip with 2 female friends, and Vrabel told Page 6 that they and the coach drove up for the day with another pal and then all drove back to their own hotel some 2 hours away after hanging out. But then, I guess, Diana and Vrabel were just still left alone there at the hotel after their friends all came through and partied and enjoyed their time together. Like, I guess that's the story. Probably worth mentioning that that hotel they stay at, the Ambiente, prides itself on being a romantic getaway, boasting on its website about the 158 proposals that took place in the thousands of anniversaries and honeymoons that have been celebrated at that hotel. Like, that seems to be its main shtick. That's the big thing about this location. So it is a little peculiar that this was the hotel where everyone decided, let's go party at the Ambiente together, and then we're all going to leave except for Mike and Diana. You guys can hang out here. We're going to all drive 2 hours back to the other hotel. It's perplexing. It is a very interesting explanation here. Now, personally, even if that is true, I still think them holding hands and hugging and shit is not for the sake of the story and trying to get information out of her source or anything. That goes way above and beyond the Call of Duty there. That is not something reporters, I believe, typically choose to do. It just doesn't really check out. So personally, I'm of the belief that this is scandalous, especially due to Diana's very open book policy on dunking on her husband. It feels like this is something that is very out of line. I don't think this is something that should be happening between a reporter and their source. If this is actually normal, it shouldn't be, because this does feel like it's a romantic getaway between the two of them. I do believe that that's what's happening here. I don't really buy the argument that this is all just normal reporting. I just don't. But I'll go ahead and show you a perspective from someone who does believe that, another big player in this field.
I don't think we really knew what was going on. Like, that's the first thing. We actually don't know. It's a bunch of still photos. We don't know. And people nowadays jump to conclusions so quickly, myself included. First minute I saw it, I was like, oh, what is she doing, blah, blah. And then I'm like, I don't actually know what was going on. And I talked to a friend of mine, a woman reporter who has been in journalism for a long time, and she's like, I don't want to jump to conclusions either, but it's definitely not smart of her to be in a hot tub at the same time as an NFL coach, so she's covering.
He keeps mentioning the hot tub photos and that it was a bad judgment call to do that. And he's right, that is a bad judgment call to do that, but he also neglects to talk about, like, the much more romantic photos between the two of them, which is the hand holding and the hugging and, like, longingly gazing out at the open scenery out there, that kind of thing, where it looks like they are a couple. So he is focused on, like, the hot tub ones and trying to come up with, like, explanations for how that could be normal for reporting, and I just don't subscribe to that idea at all. He just keeps saying that it wasn't a good idea optics-wise, as opposed to, like, believing something scandalous unfolded.
And I don't disagree. I also think there's a huge double standard. Like, if I were doing a story about Mike Vrabel, let's just say I was assigned a piece by The Athletic, and he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna, why don't you hang out with me at the pool today? You can interview me then. And I'm like, great. I hang out with him for the day on the pool. And at one point he's like, oh, my back stiffens up. I'm gonna go in the hot tub. You wanna go in the hot tub? And I'll be like, yeah, I have a bad back, sure. Like, nobody would be like, reporter Jeff Pearlman has cozy relationship with Mike Vrabel. It is a woman thing. And it is unfair, but a reality for women reporters that they really have to be, it's unfair, but cautious.
That example completely falls apart, though, when you look at the other photos of them together. Jeff, if there were photos of you and Vrabel hanging out by the pool, fucking drinking brewskis, giggling, whatever, and then going into the hot tub, just hanging out, posting up just two bros being dudes, that's one thing. And you're right, no one's gonna be like, Mike and Jeff here are canoodling. But if there are then also photos of the two of you holding hands and maybe you nuzzling your head onto his chest as he's embracing you tightly with a big hug, like in the photos of him and Diana, then there definitely would be people that are saying, you have a very cozy relationship with Mike. This feels as though it is something more romantic as opposed to professional. 1000%, Jeff. That would absolutely happen. Because there's no way of explaining why you'd be holding hands and hugging each other. What? Did Mike's hands start cramping up so you were massaging them? Is that why they were holding hands? His hands just, they were cold, so they needed some body heat? Or what about, like, the big hug? Was this like an action shot and Mike had stumbled over, he slipped on a banana peel and was falling, so then he grabbed on to Diana and the two just ended up, like, hugging in order to balance out Mike? I doubt it. There's no real explanation for that other than just being cozy, Jeff.
When writing about, in particular, men, and, like, if I was doing a Sean McVay profile and Sean McVay was like, why don't we just meet and we'll just go out to dinner and grab a bite? I wouldn't even think twice. I'd be like, sure. But if a woman reporter is seen with Mike Vrabel out at a restaurant, you could easily see, page 6, photos of Mike Vrabel with this reporter. Is this an affair? What is this?
I don't really think that example works all that well because reporters going out to dinner with the person they're interviewing is already normalized for both men and women. And yes, there definitely will be some people that make the assumption like, oh, this celebrity was with this reporter at dinner by candlelight, thus they must be dating, this must be some kind of, big nefarious affair. But that's a much bigger assumption to make. Like, that one is more of a leap because that is something that does actively happen often with both men and women reporters. What doesn't happen often is what we're seeing here with Diana and Mike, with the holding hands, hugging, that kind of thing, at a resort known for, like, honeymoons and getaways and proposals and stuff like that. A romantic resort getaway where it is only the two of them that are seen. The other people, there's no evidence that they were actually there, at least not from everything that's available at this moment, other than people claiming that they were there, like the individuals claiming that they were there. None of the eyewitnesses note that there was anyone besides the two of them. That is much different than just going to dinner with your source.
So it's just such a painful double standard. Another thing is she has a very long, high-quality reputation, and I'm just not willing to jump on the, oh, there was something nefarious going on here. They're having an affair, they're having a scandal, blah, blah, blah. I'm just not there. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not taking a bunch of photos and doing what we do in 2026, jumping all over it. If there was video, I guess maybe, if one of them admitted it, if the spouse, blah, blah, blah. I just don't know. Now, all that being said, is it smart of her to go in a hot tub with an NFL coach? I know it's unfair, but no.
Again, he is so fixated on just the hot tub photo. I don't know if that's all he saw is like the pool and hot tub photo and he didn't see the others. I really don't know, but that's not like the most telling one, I would argue. Again, it's very possible they're not having an affair, but this behavior is certainly not professional, and it is very weird to be acting this way with your source. Anyway, I'm sure there will be additional information on the relationship between these two, and I'm going to keep paying attention to it because I'm actually pretty interested to see how it all unfolds here. Anyway, that's really about it. So, yep. We need teleportation. That'd be cool too. That one I don't think's ever happening. Teleportation wouldn't even be you, it's a copy of you, so you'd still technically die. You don't know that. It could be jumper rules, where it opens into it, you know what I mean? I'm talking jumper rules. You clearly haven't seen the 30 clearest teleportations caught on camera. We already have the technology. Actually, I haven't. How clear were these teleporting incidents? "30 clearest human teleportations ever caught on camera." Oh, this is new too. This is probably like reliable. He didn't even teleport. Well, he didn't go anywhere. How's that a teleportation? What? Who teleported there? These are a lot less clear than the title led me to believe. Oh, I saw that time.
They vanished in a blink, one moment standing or walking, the next gone, and then inexplicably appearing somewhere else, as if space itself folded. But what happens when the evidence is crystal clear, and yet people still refuse to believe it? From security cameras to stunned smartphone recordings, here are 30 clearest human teleportations ever caught on camera. In Hong Kong, a camera caught a strange scene as a man appeared in frame, seemingly drawing crackling blue light from his hand.
Good. 快反快反正面少少，人都過嚟嗰個。
Oh, here comes Alex Mercer.
But when he was noticed, he bolted forward and in an instant vanished completely, leaving behind stunned witnesses and footage that looked like real teleportation.
You call this clear? Does this look clear to you, brother? But this is undoubtedly a teleportation incident. I'll give you that much. But it's not clear. I almost saw something there. That was a close call.
Leaked footage.
I did see that. He's gone.
Operation shows a tense chase in a crowded bookstore. But what happened next was truly shocking.
This is an intense chase. Where is he?
Just as agents closed in, the target suddenly teleported right out of sight, disappearing into thin air and leaving stunned.
What the fuck? Damn! Wow, I don't think they got teleported. Based on that sound effect, I think he got zapped. There's probably a pile of ashes with smoke coming off it on the floor there. Holy, alright, now this is pretty clear. This one's only like negative 160p, so I can see things here.
A man suddenly appeared on the street out of nowhere, then calmly continued his walk as if it were the most ordinary thing. But how does someone just materialize in plain sight without warning?
That's a good question. How did he do that? That was pretty clear.
Without warning.
Fuck! He needs to teach us this power. Without warning, too. Good point. Nobody on the sidewalk knew that this was happening. He didn't warn a single soul.
During a live interview near an airport baggage carousel, everything seemed normal until something in the background caught viewers off guard.
Men måske ikke at få trænet 2 gange inden vi skal spille den næste kamp, det kan godt irritere mig lidt, at vi måske må nøjes med en enkelt. Nu ser vi på dem i løbet af aften, skal de ikke træne, og så ser vi hvor meget de kan i morgen.
A woman standing behind the interviewee suddenly disappears the moment someone walks past her.
This one's not even really trying.
A trick of light, or something much stranger.
Og eventuelt så vil vi lægge en træning ind lørdag formiddag.
She just didn't disappear, she's just walking with her. I don't mean to debunk clear evidence here, but that one she's just walking with her. You just can't see her anymore because of the angle. You can even see her start to walk.
Nej, hvad sker der? Hvordan kan de lave det? Jeg ved det ikke. Lad os se det igen. Det er fuldstændig. Det skal vi se igen. Hun står der. Hun står der. Venter på kufferten. Sker nu der. Hvad?
Dashcam footage captures a moment that feels completely surreal, leaving viewers unsure if their eyes are playing tricks on them.
Where is it?
A person suddenly appears on the road, colliding slightly with an oncoming car, shocking both the driver and anyone watching the footage.
I can't fucking see anything because not only is the footage terrible quality, but there's raindrops on it. But I see. He's not very good at teleporting. He came in stumbling and hit a car. Peculiar. Very peculiar. Yes. He can teleport. Just like the others. Wrong coordinates. Yeah, just a little off. The car teleported to intercept him. Oh, now that's an interesting theory. You might be onto something. Let's see. No, the car comes from over here. He's teleported.
A person suddenly appears on the road, colliding slightly with an oncoming car, shocking both the driver and anyone watching the footage.
Damn.
As a man on a bike rides into the frame, he moves forward and then suddenly disappears from view, leaving those filming stunned and questioning what they just witnessed.
Ну что, давай тогда еще разок.
He traveled back in time. Came to the wrong year, he had to go back.
CCTV footage shows something that immediately makes you question reality, as if the laws of
What?
have taken a brief vacation.
Yeah, well, that's not teleportation. He's a speedster, so he vibrated through that, and this guy doesn't even know the rules. That's not teleportation, but that is no doubt a superhuman amongst us. And that's clear as day. Imagine we see the guy from FEMA who teleported to Waffle House. If only I could get my hands on that footage. That must be something special. That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh, he comes back too!
A person in a black hoodie casually walks straight through a closed door, leaving anyone watching utterly baffled by the impossible sight.
You're not supposed to normally be able to do that! He's no-clipping!
On a busy road, leaving...
Oh, this is like actually clear footage. For the first time. This one might even be 720p. This is pretty good.
Seeing is real.
Man, people keep teleporting in front of cars.
A man suddenly appears.
Their coordinates are way off.
Narrowly avoiding a moving car, then calmly runs across as if he had stepped out of thin air, leaving no hint of where he came from. Something completely unexplainable unfolds in a busy airport, leaving viewers staring in disbelief at what seems impossible.
Oh! Wow! Right now he's on the horn with his boss. Wait, even this guy teleported! Everyone's teleporting!
Travelers move along as usual, but in an instant, some vanish into thin air, leaving empty spaces where they had just been, baffling anyone witnessing the scene.
Oh my god! What is this? Is this Rapture? What's going on? What? Ah! What the fuck?
Was this man experimenting with something we weren't supposed to see, or just caught in something unexplainable?
He's looking for something. Okay. He can't find it.
So instead he teleports? Oh, he's gonna jump into that hole.
A man is seen pacing suspiciously around the side of a building before a sudden bright light appears. After a moment of moving within the glow, he abruptly vanishes without a trace, leaving only questions behind.
Now look closely right here. Look. Look.
Is this an SOS signal he's sending?
Look closely right here. Watch what happened. Here it is. Watch. Look.
The routine street.
Can't argue with that one. That gives me a lot to think about. Man, that guy fucking pieced out like that meme where they have that guy go like this and then he fades out. Wow. To think that it's real. I mean, you can't argue with that. He was sent to the back rooms, maybe. This is scary stuff, man. This is scary stuff. And to think there's 30 of these. There's 30 of these. Oh, wow. This one's a whole out. Oh! Whoa! Ah! Oh, I've already seen that one. He's reusing it. That's crazy, man. Wait, that one was an angel sighting. I forgot about that. Oh, this channel is just all this, huh? What's the most popular? 30 disturbing gang encounters. So it went from gang and cartel encounters to teleportations. Okay. Quite a pivot. And UFOs seem to be a big one. 60 of the clearest UFO sightings ever. That is pretty clear. Oh, I remember these assholes. I remember when these fucking cosmic perverts came down. Tried to have sex with my grandma.
Strange lights, silent shapes, mysterious movements. People across the globe have reported sightings for decades, but what happens when the evidence is too clear to ignore? From quiet rural skies to crowded cityscapes, these moments have left witnesses stunned and questions unanswered. Here are the 60 clearest UFO sightings ever recorded in human history. Two men were driving when they suddenly stopped and got out to film something unusual in the sky.
Para aí, Rafa. Para aí, velho. Não dá pra ver, peraí.
As they zoomed in, the object's strange shape became clearer, leaving them stunned. Or a drone. Just something they couldn't explain.
Tá vendo alguma coisa? Lá do teu lado, lá, pô.
Scram! Shoo! Get out of here! This ain't your world!
Nem 4 horas ainda, velho.
They're hiding in our clouds. Fucking cloud people.
Olha isso, velho. Olha isso.
The opening moments of the next segment settle on an unexplained form, resting silently within an open field. Its contours are stark against the landscape, motionless and seemingly grounded.
Wow! What do they want? Oh, the sound effects.
Then, without warning, the perspective shifts abruptly, and in that same instant, the object is no longer earthbound, its ascent now undeniable against the vastness of the sky.
That is undeniable. That's true. You can't deny that. Prove that that's fake. You can't. Was there ever a follow-up on that alien sphere found in Brazil or wherever? It was actually a lot of different places that the alien spheres were turning up in. And it turns out it was confirmed to be actual intergalactic travelers. Horrifying stuff. They had like fucking 9 tits and everything. To my knowledge, they're still being studied at the moment. 9? That's not even symmetrical. I know, and that was the scariest part. These kind of videos are way less fun now that AI is a thing. That's true, they're a lot less cool now with AI, but luckily, there's still people doing it the old-fashioned way.
He pulls out his phone to record it. Revealed. In Oshawa, without hesitation, he pulled out his camera and began recording.
Someone want to tell me what that is?
Bro, that shit looks like a tin can with boosters on it.
The object hovered silently, its shape and behavior unlike anything he'd seen before. What exactly did he capture that day?
I don't know, some kid's science experiment, maybe. Artemis 3.
An object that doesn't appear to be ordinary.
Oh, yeah.
Me contem o que vocês acham.
Despite the grainy image, its shape and movement stand out, leaving viewers to wonder what exactly was spotted.
I don't know, it's in the shape of a fish or something. What does it mean? Like a Swedish fish.
De Janeiro, this footage shows a strange, shiny object visible in broad daylight. Still in the sky.
Give me something close. Give me a close encounter. That's pretty good. That is close right now.
Epa. Não é nem o outro lado que está. Só num lado. Mas
Couple was minding their own business when something unusual caught their attention. Gliding smoothly across the horizon without a sound, leaving them in confusion.
Não tem aeroporto aqui. Se for...
No meio dos prédios, como é que
Ai,
tem
meu
aeroporto? Não
Deus.
tem aeroporto, não.
No meio dos prédios, amor.
Yeah, the aliens in their lowrider again.
This footage reveals something in the sky that appears to resemble...
What else? Do they have any gnome footage on this channel? I haven't seen any good gnome videos in a while. They got some cryptids. 60 creepiest wildlife and cryptid encounters even skeptics can't deny. 60 creepiest wildlife and cryptid encounters mainstream media never showed you. Fucking typical lamestream media trying to hide the cryptids. Let me see. Holy shit.
Wildlife is supposed to be beautiful, predictable, and safe to observe from a distance. But what happens if nature has other plans? From mysterious shapes lurking in the shadows to creatures caught on camera that defy...
Oh my god, we have a Slender Man sighting. He was dormant for so long, but he's back. Oh no. No! I thought we were rid of this menace. The 5G radiation has summoned him once again from his slumber. No!
Logic. Here are the 60 creepiest wildlife and cryptid encounters mainstream media never showed you. What would you do if, while walking home at night, your flashlight suddenly revealed something lurking in the shadows?
I'd fucking poop, bro. That's what I would do.
Its shape thin and almost stick-like. A strange, pale figure stood frozen in the darkness. Its shape thin and almost stick-like.
What's he doing there? Was that Jim Carrey Grinch? It might just be a guy.
Is this some kind of ghost, or could it be something even harder to explain?
You stupid, how would that be a ghost?
If you found yourself face to face with something like this? In a dim, closed-off room near Moorhead, Kentucky, a camera captured a pale, stick-like figure moving in the shadows. Its shape was thin and unnatural, almost as if it didn't belong in this world.
This guy does look fucking stupid. Earthworm Jim coming home after a hard night of heavy drinking.
Clearly. Right there.
Was it a ghost, a folkloric creature?
Why do you keep saying, is it a ghost? It's clearly not a ghost.
Imagine fishing
Does this guy only know one
by the
thing?
shore, only to feel something moving in the water beneath you.
This quality's so bad I can't even really tell what's happening. I'm gonna go next.
Сейчас, блядь, полчаса пока ехать будем, пока тебе даже... Что, блядь? О, лось, стой, блядь! Лось!
It moved too fast to catch a clear look, but it wasn't human.
Why do you think that? That very well could have been a human. That looked like just a guy.
Was this a Yeti, or something no one has ever named?
A Yeti? That'd be the shortest Yeti of all time.
Something no one has ever.
That just looks like a little human man. He's probably trying to get home. It's very chilly out. It's fucking snowy.
Named. A group of friends exploring Marble Mountain thought they were alone until they spotted a strange figure moving on the hill above them.
Is that
Where? Where is it? Is it like where? It's like right on the other side of it?
No, it stopped and looking at us.
It's kind of looking at us.
I don't see it.
It's moving now.
Trees
Its steps were deliberate, its shape hard to define.
to the right of
It's not that hard to define. Is that not just another hiker? Am I on the crack pipe? He's even got his arm out. Is that not just another guy? Steps were deliberate. Yeah, it's called walking. He's huge. Is he that huge? They're just really zoomed in. He doesn't seem that big. It's on like the side of the walk there. It doesn't really look huge or anything. It's not like the giant sightings back on TikTok. It just looks like God. He's actually striking quite a peculiar pose. This could be an amazing digital circus character come to life. I'm starting to come around. I see it now. That is a cryptid. Bro got alerted like an NPC. Yeah. They aggroed him.
Human shape walking through the night. What is this?
Holy shit. Yep, that's a ghost.
Its movements were unnatural, almost predatory. Could this be a skinwalker caught on camera or something?
That's probably exactly what it is, actually. My dad is into this stuff. He even bought an app that's supposed to... he even bought an app that's supposed to help him communicate with aliens. What do you mean he bought... What app did he buy? Tell me right now, I'm going to buy it as well. How... What would you even spin... Like, what would the app do? He'd have... That would be so... Like, the stars would really have to align to get some bang for your buck with that app purchase. He'd have to encounter aliens, A, and then B, he'd have to hope that the app is able to translate to that language of the aliens, for which there's probably countless. Like, this could be set to only communicate with, like, I don't know, Viltrumites, or, well, Viltrumites speak English in the show. What's a fucking alien that doesn't speak English? Krogans, or something, maybe. So we'd have to encounter them. What's the app? Tell me right now what the app is. Ask your dad. CE5 Contact. Oh my god. For $10 from Dr. Stephen Greer. $10. This app provides instructions and tools to assist you in making peaceful contact with extraterrestrial civilizations as well as locating others in your area who are interested in making contact. ET contact is undertaken using the CE5 protocol. It stands for Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. Unlike more passive CE 1 through 4 experiences, a close encounter of the fifth kind is human initiated. Contact work can be done with just a chair and a quiet night. However, use of this app and the recommended and or optional items listed below have the potential to make your field experiences easier, such as detecting anomalous activity, initiating communications, or documenting celestial events. To further your understanding of consciousness and contact, ET and UFO matters, as well as the history and science that relate to these topics, the following reading materials are highly recommended. How does this help me do this? How does this help me contact and talk with them? I'm gonna match with a hot alien in the Andromeda. When I was in my alien phase, I used an alien app similar to that called Alien Talk. Was yours $10? I can't believe the price. Who is Dr. Stephen Greer? That name sounds so familiar. Oh, that's why, because I just looked up Stephen Greer the other day. Someone on chat was asking me my perspective on Dr. Stephen Greer. That's why, I was just looking at him. So now he has an alien contact app. I'm going to tell you that makes him even less credible in my eyes. Assuming this is his official app. The most recent reviews are from fucking 4 years ago. Well, actually, here's a 2-year review. A year from 2 years ago. A review from 2 years ago. It says, 1 star, please read, do not purchase. This is a scam. You pay for the app just to get a bunch of stuff you hear in the documentary that's available on Unify. The app does not work either. It'll state that a verification email has been sent to the email. It never gets sent. Huh. The email is necessary to log into the account and use to meet up on the portion of the app to try and form a group. Every purchase just buys the guy a beer. That's what it sounds like. Oh, they actually just updated it 2 weeks ago. Additional fixes to optimize map loading. Huh. Well, I'm not gonna piss away $10 on this. If it was like $2, I'd do it, but 10 is a crazy ask for this dog shit. I'll pass on that. What was the other one you said? Alien Talk? That doesn't exist any. Oh no, here it is. Alien Chat, talk to aliens. 13 reviews. It's a radar detector contacting ETs. Okay, let me get this real quick. Let me see if I can talk to an alien. This one's free. So you know it works. Chat with alien beings, talk to aliens in real time, powered by groundbreaking AI technology. So they're not even real aliens. They're not even fucking matching me with aliens. Oh my god, it's a fucking scam. I can't even start without paying for a $13 a month trial, or a $13 a month subscription. This is so fucking silly. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'll never get to chat with aliens. Fuck. Here's a review. It's 1 star. The aliens just say a few words and then that's it. They're all pre-established words. It's not like an AI chat where it'll come up with new things and it doesn't always answer the questions. The only cool thing this app does is allow you to turn on the flashlight by asking the alien to do it. Oh my god, it's so pathetic. Definitely don't pay for the subscription because I was using the 3-day free trial and that was like all the chat did. It would be an awesome concept if they used AI to make the response. Why would that be an awesome concept? You're just talking to AI again for a $13 subscription pretending to be an alien. But because they're just pre-recorded responses and only a handful of them, they're really boring. Ghost detection apps must have done the same thing too. Yeah, those we've used on our ghost hunts. So I already know those are fucking awful. This one guy posted a review on this a year ago. It's a 5 stars. He said, creepy but amazing. I talked to a gray alien and saw what its planet looked like. Please institutionalize yourself ASAP. Good lord. Here's another 5 star. This app is so cool. I'm into aliens and weird stuff, so it was crazy to talk to an alien. People paid $13 for this, by the way. Just got back from the cinema after watching Exit 8, a movie that I think a lot of people are sleeping on, but you really shouldn't because it is impressively good, especially for a video game adaptation. Exit 8 is based on a game of the same name, and really a game that kind of popularized the anomaly hunting genre of horror games, which is a genre that I've really started to fall in love with. Every time I play an anomaly hunting game for the gaming channel, I get fucking hearts in my eyes like an anime character. It's just a lot of fun, and Exit 8 was what really, propelled it into the, mainstream consciousness. Also, the gaming channel, Moist Critical Gaming, is by far the best gaming channel on YouTube. Just started my Sly Cooper marathon as well, so now's the perfect time to go subscribe over there. But I'm playing fucking hundreds of games a month for that. Anyway, Exit 8 is a very solid game. But I had no clue there would ever be the potential to make a good movie out of it, because it's very simple. You are trapped in an endlessly looping subway tunnel, and every time you try and go forward, you end up just going back to the very beginning. The only way to escape is by checking everything with a fine-tooth comb to see if there's anything that has changed, anything that's out of the ordinary about this corridor, and if there's any anomalies there that you detect, if something's out of whack, then you have to turn around and go the other way in order to progress. And you do this until you reach exit 8. Like, it's a very simple game premise that was really fun. It had a lot of cool, like, anomalies that they threw at you. But there was not like a big, in-depth story that, you know, would get players invested in the character you play. So I really just didn't think that there was any potential for a movie to spawn from it. And if there was, it'd just be like some boring-ass cash grab. That is not the case with Exit 8. This film fucking slaps. They did an incredible job. The whole first, like, 15, 20-ish minutes of the film is POV. It is first person of the character that we are following, and it actually feels straight out of the game. Except, they don't just toss you in there and start hunting anomalies. It gives you a character to care about. He is a very passive guy. He's on the subway. There's a lady with a baby that the baby is crying, and now she's getting berated by an angry rider, an angry passenger there. And he just tries to tune it out, go about his day, just trying to avoid confrontation the best of his ability, and just fly under the radar. He then gets a call from his ex and learns that she is pregnant, and that's when kind of the core of the movie, the heartbeat of the movie, takes form about, is he going to step up to be a father? What will you decide? That's like the big thing. What is the choice that he is going to make? And while on this phone call, he ends up getting trapped in this looping subway passageway, the subway tunnel. And then it becomes very familiar because they got this one-to-one with the game. It is like exactly the same as the game, which was very fucking cool. But even if you haven't played the game, it's very interesting. So he starts to piece together that something's wrong because he's just doing these fucking loops. There's some weird wacko that just keeps walking at him that won't interact. He looks like a robot, just some kind of NPC that's glitching out. He just keeps walking, and then sometimes it goes kind of tits up. This guy will turn around and like follow him while smiling. It's odd. And then he starts to panic, but then he notices the information on the wall tells him how to get out of here, the same way the tutorial in the game does. So then he go gadgets, goes full fucking inspector mode there on the tunnel, and tries to deduce whether or not it's anomaly ridden or clear. And it's always tough because sometimes there's some very obvious blatant ones like fucking big old tsunami that blasts through, and sometimes it's very subtle ones like one of the poster's eyes moved, that kind of thing. I think they did a great job of staying true to the game there and making it tense on the big screen. I thought they really played around with the concept very well. But what really elevates this from just a gimmick movie into just like a very solid movie on its own two legs is that this is a character that you actually root for. It's a character that grows steadily in this environment. So he starts as like a very passive guy and just trying to like avoid things and kind of duck his head. He doesn't think he's ready to be a father. Now, I want to avoid big spoilers for this because I think it's detrimental if I just divulge a ton of things about the movie here, and I really think this is a movie worth watching. So I'm only going to touch on tiny spoilers here to continue to glaze it and also address one of the main complaints people have about this film that I kind of disagree with. But anyway, that's your little spoiler warning. Since he starts as this passive character, it seems like he's always leaning towards just ducking out and just avoiding anything that might be too hard for him. But now that he's in this endless looping tunnel, he has to really start evolving. He needs to start growing here. And I think they really play around with that well. And it's not just him. They introduced two other characters as well, such as the Walking Man, who was a really interesting character. It wasn't like just some flat throwaway character. They fleshed him out in a really fascinating way. And then there's also a boy that gets introduced here. And that is when the whole thing changes. So, once he figures out the rules here and how to escape, he starts, learning, the second I see an anomaly, turn around and go the other way because it might be dangerous if I don't. So when he's doing one of his investigations, he instantly sees a child there. Just this boy that's standing in the middle. So he's like, yep, obviously that's a fucking anomaly. So he turns around and goes the other way and expecting it to progress, but it actually resets his progress to 0. And he realizes, oh, that wasn't an anomaly. That's actually just a child that's also trapped in this as well. And then the two of them work together to try and get out. But it's obviously not that simple. And now he has to kind of be like a father to this child here and protect him. He takes on a more protective role when, before he arrived at this endless subway tunnel, he might have just did exactly what he did on the subway itself and just tune it out, ignore it, and go about his business by himself because it would have been easier. But he steps up here as he continues to grow. I think it's a gradual, well-done development of this character through a really interesting way, and it's also shot in a very interesting way. It's not like the craziest cinematography ever, but it's really well done, and it makes you care, and it keeps the shots interesting, which also elevates like the anomaly scares and frights and spooky stuff, that kind of thing when the anomalies happen. And that brings me to what it seems like a handful of people are really complaining about with the movie, and that's the fact that he doesn't always just immediately turn around and leave the second that he notices there's an anomaly. He, and by extension the child, investigate the anomalies, which that people are chalking up to being bad decision making. In the game, for instance, in Exit 8 the game, the second you see an anomaly, you basically sprint back the other way in order to progress the game. In the movie, he tried that with the child, and it turns out that wasn't an anomaly. So I actually think they do a good job of showing why he investigates the anomalies more so after that, because he had already tried just instantly turning around when he thought he saw an anomaly, only to realize, nope, that was normal. So I feel like that makes sense there, but also there's a bigger messaging with it. And this is where it's going to be spoilery. There's no way to avoid this. This is a bigger spoiler. But him investigating the anomalies is what helps him grow as a character. Like, for instance, the most important moment in the film was the anomaly where the door opens, which the second the door opened, they could have turned around and left and it would have been correct because obviously something's out of whack, it's an anomaly, and you have to go the other way to progress. But they open the door fully to see what's on the other side, which everyone's like, why would you do that? That's fucking stupid. These are dumb characters making dumb decisions. And yes, it is a dangerous decision. They could have just opened that up into like a fucking wood chipper or something, or just fell into an endless void like the Oblivion, just this giant shithole. Very possible. But the messaging there, when they open it, what he sees is himself on that subway ignoring the woman and the baby that are in distress because of this asshole that's now like attacking them. And he is overcome with regret. And it's such an emotional beat that only happens because he investigated. So the anomalies are what lets this character grow. So yeah, the optimal play would be just immediately turn around and leave. But if he did that, he would have ended as the exact same character that we saw him begin with. There's no growth there. So I really think that it was well executed there. Yes, you can nitpick it saying like, it's stupid, that's suboptimal. But without it, he doesn't change. And his change and everything he learns about himself and his journey throughout his time in the Exit 8 endless tunnel there, the fucking treadmill there, that is what the movie is about. Him and his experience there and how it changes him and helps him develop. And I thought they did a great job with it. They took a very simple horror game concept of basically, you know, that old game you'd play in the picture books where what's different with this picture and this picture? Circle it. You win. That kind of thing. They took that and used it as a character development tool and set up a really interesting world with it. I was really impressed with how they used it in Exit 8. I thought they did a great job with this movie. I don't really have any complaints other than sometimes it drags. They do let some shots sit for too long that don't really add suspense or tension. It just kind of makes it feel like, all right, come on, we get it. Let's kind of move on to the next thing. Like, there definitely were moments that I thought dragged, but nothing like egregious. I really enjoyed this movie a lot more than I thought would ever be even possible with a game like this. So yeah, I thought this slapped. This is definitely a very solid video game adaptation. They took the game and added a story to it and really did it justice. You could even make an argument that they elevated it as well. I'm very, very impressed with what they've done here. So I wanted to yap about this and give you a little review on it, I suppose. That's really about it. Oh, another thing I want to mention. The music in this. They did a great job with the music here, which I didn't expect at all. It's a movie that's really quiet for the most part as he's facing these anomalies, which, again, the message that that is being delivered is about how he's not just like facing these random anomalies. These have meaning. He's facing parts of himself and needs to overcome and grow in order to, you know, make it out of the endless, you know, subway station here. But most of the movie is quiet and a lot of just environmental noise and background noise. But when there's music here, the music goes ballistic. They kind of went hard on the score here. I wanted to make a special mention of that. But anyway, yeah, like I said, it's a very good movie. I recommend it. That's really about it. So, yeah. I was sleepy once. It was a long time ago. If you think I look tired, well, you better get your eyes checked, Buster. That's a certified WebMD diagnosable moment right there that something has gone awry with your peepers. Could a sleepy man do this? Checkmate. Point is, in my endless battle against insomnia, I happen to have stumbled across something interesting again this evening, and it pertains to last night's video about the $20 million reality TV show, Twitch streamer, fan, production, extravaganza, mansion, titties, beer, rock and roll, whatever else it was pitching itself as, called the $1 Million Fan Show. Well, I speculated that it was a big scam, and a lot of Twitch streamers had been publicly put on the website. Some had even made announcements about their endorsement of the $1 Million Fan Show, and nothing about it seemed legitimate. I'm not just going to regurgitate everything from last night's video. You can check that out if you want a deeper dive on everything that was wrong with it. But last night on stream, like 45 minutes after I posted the video, they took their website down. Then I was checking their other ancillary shit, and all of that is removed. It seems like they are scrubbing any existence of the $1 Million Fan Show from the internet. So like even the Reddit post that the livestream fail mods posted is taken down. I don't know if that was by order of the $1 Million Fan Illuminati, or if the mods that had signed an agreement with them had a come to Jesus moment that they may have been misled, so they decided to take it down. But apparently they also removed like their Discord and their socials, which is a huge blow, by the way, because the $1 Million Fan Show had like 5 Instagram followers, so really playing a sad song on the world's smallest violin now that 5 Instagram followers have been cast into oblivion, banished to the Shadow Realm. I feel like that's pretty strong evidence for my game theory that it was all a big load of hullabaloo, a bunch of hooey. I don't think a legitimate company that's putting together a $20 million grand prize reality show that is also a television program that is also employing some of the highest level production staff imaginable for a once-in-a-lifetime unforgettable experience for streamer fans. Also, their About Us section had all the telltale signs of just being AI generated, where literally every section ended with triplets where it was, you know, it's not this, it's this. Performance, power, mentality. Mentality, tits, mentality. Like, it's just like, it was very clearly AI generated. The fucking first thing you see on their website is an AI generated image of a mansion. The whole thing just reeked of scam. And now everything has been deleted, presumably by them. I don't think, you know, some governing body came in to, you know, wipe them out. I think this is them trying to cover their own ass, so that way there isn't some kind of legal action taken against them. Because from what I've read, there were actually some members of some streamer communities that put money into the $1 Million Fan Show. They bought emote packages. I read a report on someone that claims to have spent a couple $100 doing so. So I imagine there was a handful of people that did legitimately lose money on this. Now, of course, you have to take those claims with a grain of salt because there's no real evidence to back it up, especially now that everything is deleted. There's nothing to prove that. But I'm inclined to believe those statements from them because these streamers are, you know, to a lot of people, a trustworthy source. And if they're endorsing something and they say that there's a chance that they can win $20 million or whatever the fuck through like signing up for it, they will do so. And when you go to the website and do their free sign up, they're very heavily pushing you to do the monetized sign up for unlimited entries by giving them money. So I bet a lot of them were baited into doing that. Now, as I said in the last video, I am shocked that Mythic Talent actually even floated this to their creators like Extra Emily. She, in her statement, mentioned Mythic Talent by name, that they had pitched it to her. I was surprised it made it to a streamer because anyone that even had their eyes open and neurons firing for a second would go to that website and know full well immediately, right from the jump, that this is not real, that this is fraudulent. So, I did a little digging, and I was able to get in contact with an agent, not at Mythic, but at another agency that did have this exact same thing come across their desk for their streamer clients as something to pitch to them. And according to that agent, I don't know how deep into the nitty-gritty I'm allowed to get, what they sent them, the pitch deck, was extraordinarily different from what ended up making it to that website. From what I understand, and from what I have been told, they were under the impression that this was an Amazon-backed production, at least initially. And at the time of receiving this offer, they didn't have a website or anything public outside of that pitch deck, I guess, they were hawking to agencies. And it is indeed a paid promotion. The streamers that are listed there were paid for this partnership, and there was no additional information available beyond the concept of the show and the promise that Amazon was behind a historic $20 million streamer fan buttfuck hullabaloo reality TV show. Now, one of the streamers also sent me the exact offer that was presented to them, which gives further confirmation to all of this. It comes from Mythic. This is the direct offer from Mythic that this streamer received. I'm not going to show the actual thing, so that way no one gets into legal hot water here. I don't want to, step on too many Legos, but I will give you the general overview for what the pitch was, the offer. Interestingly enough, the offer came back in June of 2025 from Mythic. And the opening line was about how it's an Amazon series. This is an Amazon series looking to break records, a historic $20 million prize purse reality show. It doesn't even name the show, by the way. I'm guessing back in June of 2025, they didn't even have the name of the show or anything concrete. There was no website, no mention of like LSF or brand partners or anything like that. It was just a single sentence that said, Amazon reality TV show set to air on Amazon Prime, featuring the soon-to-be-broken Guinness World Record book for biggest prize pool in history, $20 million, winning group splits money in half, $10 million to you, and $10 million to the fan. That is the entire explanation for what this deal was. Interestingly enough, like I said, June of 2025. The deliverables were a reality TV show appearance, 1 to 7 days, depending on how far you make it, and a single social post. The initial filming date was November 3rd to November 10th, but guessing, some wires got crossed there, fucking nipple clamps came down, maybe government shutdown, put that on the back burner, so that had to put the kibosh on that and shelve it till, I guess, 2026. Anyway, though, they were offering $3,000 for the streamer involvement here, plus 20% of net ticket sales from your ticket, which the streamer expressed some confusion over because they didn't believe Mythic knew that there was like this paid entry option, but in the offer it says they were getting 20% of net ticket sales. When you go, well, knowing now, hindsight's 2020, but like going to the website that existed, when you would sign up through a streamer portal, you were paying for those entries if you wanted to extend beyond just the free submission. So I'm thinking that the idea from this offer was that when someone, a fan of the streamer, did a paid entry through their portal, they would get a portion of that. So like I feel like Mythic would have had to have known that there was some kind of like paid component to the fans, but who knows? There's so little information here in the actual offer that Mythic took to the streamers. I am still extremely surprised it even made it to a single streamer as something to consider. I don't know why there wouldn't be more digging to confirm if this is actually even an Amazon show, because after the offer, they then go into like a general explanation for it, and it is so bare bones. It sounds like something that a person would cook up in 5 minutes while taking a shit after consuming like, their morning oats or something. There's not a whole lot of thought into this. Competition details. 1 creator, 1 fan group eliminated per day. $20 million cash prize. 1 creator, 2 fans. They will be gaming, IRL, and cognitive challenges. Think Survivor, but for creators. And then it just lays out like the most simple, boring shit ever for the competition. And then the Apocalypse Challenge on day 3, during which fans will compete head-to-head with each other, resulting in a mass elimination. Narrow the group down so each creator is ultimately paired with one of their original fans for the last 4 days. It's like, it's if you went to like a fucking Redditor and asked him to really quickly come up with a streamer game show or something. Now, as for the initial start date of November, the streamer was just told that it got pushed back to March. I don't think there was any like real explanation for what went wrong. You know, maybe bad weather, perhaps government shutdown, you know, all kinds of possibilities for why it got moved. But they weren't really, you know, kept up to date, kept abreast on everything going on here with this huge, giant Amazon show. I am even more surprised that any agency would have seen this and just shipped it as is, just said, fuck it, do it live. We'll send it out to our streamers to see if they'll accept the $3,000 offer with the 20% ticket sales split or whatever. Because, like, I feel like when you are getting this as, you know, pitched as an Amazon production, you would probably want to confirm if this is actually coming from Amazon. Because if you're going to work at this agency managing these kind of contracts and stuff, but you're working under the impression that no one's going to tell lies on the internet, what's stopping just any old Joe Schmo Dorito dusted fingers from sending you a cold call email saying like, hey, this is me, Amazon, pitching you a $50 quadrillion reality television show. I'll offer like $3,000 with some rev split to your streamers. Do you mind taking this to them? I'd love if they start shouting out goochsweat.org soon. It's a very legitimate reality TV show. We're Amazon, by the way. And you not press that any further, because that's what it feels like. Looking at the offer, there is no actual information about like Amazon being behind this. And since this was back in June of 2025, I can understand the absence of a website a little bit more back there, because if this is like an Amazon show, they're probably not going to make the website first and foremost because they don't want to like spoil it or anything. Like, I can kind of understand that. So streamers being left in the dark on, you know, like a website that they can access, like this website, it didn't exist according to the streamer. It just recently popped up, which according to Whois, that does appear to be the case. Even though the domain had been registered for a while, it was updated in like late December. So that's probably when it actually went live, which is when anyone could go on there and see how fraudulent it was with just a single fucking glance. So I do now understand that there were streamers that literally couldn't look up this show because the offer doesn't even have the name of the show and the website didn't exist. What I'm still confused on is like why anyone would still accept that deal. And then I start to understand a bit more that they just have trust in the agency not to be presenting them with a scam. They had trust that the mythic talent, for example, like in Extra Emily's case, was bringing them something that was legitimate. So they're seeing like, oh, it's an Amazon show that wants to work with me and they're making this offer. Okay, this seems like a big deal. I'll sign up to that and, you know, do the social post or whatever. Also, if you try and look up milliondollarfan.show now, the most recent update to the site was today, because the update was just nuking it, taking it down. But prior to that, it was updated in late December, which is when I imagine this went live. So now it seems like the streamers literally didn't even have access to look up the information themselves on that website, which again, doesn't take a super sleuth, you know, fucking pinky up internet, you know, narwhal baconing at midnight master to see that that is a fucking disaster of a website that is clearly in a shady spot, most likely looking to scam. The streamers didn't know that site was there because the deal was all the way back in June. Though I will say, looking at the offer, this should have been something that I think streamers should have been a little weary of, because it feels like it is very odd just looking at it. But I think that does fall a bit more on the agency than it does the streamer itself, because there is a level of trust from streamers with the person that is like managing their brand deals, that what they are getting is not just fucking toilet paper that's trying to wipe their ass with their fans. And in this case, I am still just shocked that it even made it to the streamers in the first place. This should have been probably caught far earlier. I imagine they could have confirmed well beyond this, like almost a year later, that this wasn't Amazon behind it. If they had like, you know, maybe set up like calls or something, or looked for any level of proof of this being Amazon, like even just questioning, where is this money coming from? Who else are we working with? What is the actual production timeline and all that looking like? I feel like there was definitely a way like Mythic Talent could have caught this and then never even had to get to this point where there were real victims, where based on what I've read, there were people that put in like hundreds of dollars, which again, I know you have to take it with a grain of salt because there's no like evidence to support those claims that people lost a ton of money since now everything is scrubbed, but I'm inclined to believe them because the audience has a level of trust in the streamer that what they are pitching is not just a scam that's going to just rob their fucking piggy banks. So I do think that there were real victims here, and I think it was just so easily avoidable. This shit is just fucking wild that it even happened. R.I.P. $1 Million Show. Definitely feels like it was a scam from the get-go, considering they have just vanished, poofed out of existence, and erased every trace that they were ever even here to begin with. Anyway, though, that's really about it. So, yeah.